that light off. It's always something. It's always something. Is he going to forget something? Oh, you know he's going to forget something. At what point, like, how do you know, like, you know what the headache is from? This is, you'd think it's a well-ventilated area, but apparently it's not. How long does it go on before you're concerned about it? Like how many days? It's contact cement is what it is. It's not paint. It's contact cement, and we've gone through 2/3 of a can of contact cement. What time when you forget do you have to do karaoke? What? Yeah, watch the live stream while crawling. That sounds great. No crawling here today. It is gotta be near to about 100 right now. The weather has become fully Midwestern in that if you don't like the way the weather's going right now, wait an hour. Let's see, what are we looking at? 95. 21% humidity, 95 degrees. The sun does feel like murder. What is your rotating table made from? Her name is Susan, and Susan is made out of a yoga block. This is a Rehut yoga block, 10 by 6 by 4. I don't know what they call them in Europea. And then the rest is, this is part of a speaker box. This is all just MDF. I think this is just pine plywood, and you can use a Lazy Susan, just a little mechanism. I routed a groove and put ball bearings in it, but that's about it all. I just wanted a rotating base that fits a yoga block. And that's what we got. Still love the part from yesterday's video where you said your wife poked and said smoke, weed. That's got to be a sticker, right? Just a woman's silhouette saying that. I don't remember that, but I've inhaled a lot of fumes over the past week. Probably close to 40 hours in on the gauntlets. Shout out. I haven't seen either of them on here, but that doesn't mean that they're not here. Because I don't know how to see who all is watching it. I don't know if that's even a function that YouTube provides me. But the two gentlemen who provided 3D printing for me, I don't have to... Oh, the turntable on the intro screen. It is from Amazon. It is a powered turntable. That one has an incredible weight capacity. I looked for the one that was the biggest around that I could find. It cost like $60. It's just a powered like display turntable. It comes with a little remote. They can rotate either direction. You can have them do the stutter step thing. Amazon, I'm sure Amazon.co.uk will be full of them. Realistically, to rotate an RC car, you can get away with just a little one like that and just put a wooden plate on top of it. I don't know why I got the giant one, but I did. I mean, I stand with the evaporative cooler is running. It is a 6,600 CFM, and this building is around 6,500 cubic feet. So it should push all of the air out of here every 60 to 90 seconds. But it's still an enclosed space. Like it's not ventilated enough. It's brutal. And you get so used to it that you don't notice it, and then you go in the house to get something and you come back in here and the smell is all encompassing. It gets all up inside of you. the 3D printing. Two of the Canyon Arrows from the Discord were kind enough to provide me 3D printing operations so that I did not have to do it. We have the Season 1 Jinx Zapper. I'm pretty okay with this. This came out pretty great. We did Vanta Black down the barrel, so it looks like the barrel goes into infinity. I'm absolutely okay with that. It's a little small for my meat claws, but I'm not the one that's carrying this, so I don't really have to worry about it. I think the Season 1 came out tremendously, and of the two, I think cosmetically, I just prefer the Season 1. The Season 2, as my kid has pointed out, it almost looks too clean, but it came out fantastico. CK Graphics printed this for me. Like, the parts move. I don't know if you're supposed to put a spring in it or whatever. Wait. What? I mean, this pretty good. And the beauty of this one coming in 57 different pieces, that was like 4 pieces. The barrel was all one piece. It was 2 halves for the whole grip part, and then this little guy went on the top. This was buckets of pieces. It's super cool. I just like something, I like the aesthetic of the season. I like the big squared barrel. But, you know, I think they both came out great. And I didn't have to print them. So, super bonus on that one. This one was all rattle can. This one all painted by hand. I wonder what my kickback was like for you from my most recent A-main order. Oh, I haven't checked my affiliate, so I couldn't tell you. I was beating my head against the wall trying to figure out how to print with ABS, and I felt a lot like you do when it comes to 3D printing. Yeah, I'm not opposed. I want the fruits without the labors. The effort to get that thing to work correctly is antithetical to the way I work. Like, if my lathe had to be adjusted every single time I used it, and if it got a little windy, my lathe would go out of adjustment, I wouldn't use the lathe. And that's basically what a 3D printer is. They are needy. They are needy. They need to be adjusted and calibrated and leveled and everything all the time. Meanwhile, a drill press, you assemble it, 12 years later, you have to replace the drive belt. You know? Like, I'm used to tools, and that is like a contraption, is what that thing is. So, they're not done, but okay, here's how far I've gotten. And if you look at the individual pieces, like, how many pieces just per finger are we looking at? It goes down the barrel like that. I made a handle that goes in there, and you hold on to the handle. Look at that. Yeah. I wanted it to have a little... So this is... Any spot you see kind of... It's all contact cement. All of it. All the little trim pieces. I think I counted up that each finger is like 29 separate pieces of foam. And then there's the whole rest. And we have all of the parts that go on the back. It's all, and another big part that goes on here. Why would that take you all week? Because if you're going to build one, you might as well build the other one. So there's the left hand. I really wanted desperately to do this with the fingers, and the kid wouldn't let me. So right hand, left hand, not decorated up yet. They look big when I'm holding them, and the kid said, "You did this on purpose, didn't you?" And I was like, "A little." They look enormous on the kid. And these I don't have to paint, which is great. The kid is going to have to paint these. I've got another probably 8 hours tomorrow, and my work on these will be finished, and they'll be primed, and they'll be ready to paint. But they're not. EVA foam does have its advantages. They're really light. They don't really weigh anything. I would say they're probably half a pound right now. And this is relevant to you people with the toy cars. All inclusive. If we're talking about that and both of these, with all the primer that I had to buy for them and all the paint that we've gone through, this right here, this is a rig. I could have built a rig for this. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I feel a pressure releasing. I feel a weight being lifted because we are, oh man, an EVA foam crawler body, 3D printing is the wrong way to go about it. Like, if you made an EVA foam body, indestructible, I think, and bouncy. Cosplaying, I go as Grumpy Dad every year, and I portray that very well because I have to repair stuff that gets broken. I'm on the spot cosplay repair. None of them wear costumes that have any manner of pocket or ability to carry anything, so I get to carry everything. This is all from Arcane on Netflix. These are for Jinx, and the gauntlets are for Vi. And my kid and one of their friends are going as those characters. So there's that. So I have broken things. I've got some tires to give away. We'll do that later. We'll do that. We'll get to that. We'll do that later. I have no time to do anything. It's amazing that I have time to do this right now. The sanity maintainer. I was gluing the fingers on this morning. Oh, I wish it was just, will you hold my purse? But it's more like it's like being a mule. The wife has a bag that doesn't go with any of the. She does cosplay all 3 days. Cammy from Street Fighter, Nico Robin, and Boa Hancock from One Piece. They're all going all in, and I think the big one is gonna do. He went as a character from a PlayStation game called Persona last year, and I think he's gonna go as the same Persona character again. I don't know. I know that my involvement is almost over. Like, I have very little left to fabricate or prepare or get ready. I might have to dye some boots between now and then. That'll be pretty easy. And then they won't let you take anything with wheels. Organized Chaos, nothing with wheels. And then I've got my Thursday. I'll be there the 3rd. I'll be here on the 4th. There will be an absolute live stream on 4th of July. And then I go back on the 5th. And then I'm free again for a year, which is wonderful. On a TRX4 standard with SLD Helio seemed to make the track width super wide in comparison to the body. Thinking about going down to 6mm hubs. Could do. I mean, why not? Oh, I forgot. I'm gonna be super scattered because I've definitely come to the conclusion that I've inhaled far too many VOCs. Just too many days in a row, like it's building up. Last night I slept for almost 8 hours. I got almost 8 hours of sleep, which for me is almost out of the ordinary. Usually I'm lucky to get about 6. I think I got VOC'd to sleep. Also, with the height, no table is tall enough, so I have to bend excessively, and it's legitimately killing my calves from like being in this like hunched position for like 8 hours straight. I cut down. I did a couple days early on that were like 10-hour days, and then I was like, "You're not going to survive if you keep up the 10-hour days." So now I've limited myself to 8 hours a day. Yeah, the ghost is on the bench for a singular reason. Probably not good. So we're gonna fix that. Now, this is one of the flavors of HD 44. This is the Mias flavor. Have you made any videos setting up telemetry on an RC6? Not beyond the battery telemetry, which I find to be horrendously annoying. But like, if there are any other telemetry functions, I've never dabbled with them. So I would be the wrong person for that. But I mean, if you're talking about the battery telemetry, it's literally just a JST. It plugs into a socket on the 7-channel receiver. And then you have to turn it way down, otherwise your LiPo alarm goes off every 30 seconds. It's very annoying. So I've not had to replace anything on these axles previously. The hope is that it's just a standard universal. Oh yeah, that's about what I expected. Just gone. It's really, really short. It's really short. Short almost to the point like offset short. I don't think he will be getting fixed right now. Have you built anything with the Mias gearbox yet? The new LCG one? No. It's still, matter of fact, it's sitting right here. I have a chassis set aside for it. That chassis is right alongside all of the 3D printed inserts that I need to test. There's 4 stacks of them over there, and I can't get to testing any of those either. I can do nothing other than glue foam together. Yeah, I've had, like, one of the things I would like to get to, I want to try to put Gumby on the old MT4, because this is one of the best options for four-wheel steer. But the elder radios like this, they don't play super kind with modern speed controls and things like fusions, because sometimes it's difficult to get them to calibrate. If I can get it to calibrate, because this little lever, it has a detent in the middle, and then the throw is super short, so it makes your rear steer activate really quickly. So if I can get this, I have 2, and I don't know which receiver is paired to what, so we're gonna figure it out. Well, we're hoping we're gonna figure it out. What I need to do is, oh, okay, wow, what an odd place to brake. I don't know if I've ever seen one not break either there, right at that neck, or right where they change diameter. That broke right in the middle. And we have to change both, fittingly. You know what? We might end up changing all 4, because as you saw, these are 5mm stubs, so they take the big nut. Have you tried the super low latency settings on the MT12? I do not have an MT12, but I can imagine. Oh, on the Radio Master. No, I have not. I have never felt anything resembling latency on a rock crawler ever. And not surprisingly, as we're 10 feet away, 2 miles an hour. So this was the first thing that 100% had to get. Oh, and also, where's it at? Getting right into the hardy feather of these. Hello. Get a nice peekaboo there. I don't know how that ripped there. The vent hole's down there. I don't know what happened. Ghost Rover's had a day. Chrome-related hydrogen embrittlement. You could have made that up right now. Sounds convincing. I'll take it. I'll eventually get my MT12 set up. Yeah, I looked at it and I debated it and I was like, no. I have a finite amount of time to devote to things, and I do not have the time to devote to learning. It's literally learning a language. It is very much in the same vein as 3D printing, as far as I'm concerned. Great. MT12, probably the best value for a radio that you can buy right now. And I don't even know what the current tariff time pricing is on it. When I got mine, it was like $139. And you're not getting that kind of feature-filled experience from anything else. There is you see it? What's this? That's the same spot. So it rubs on something inside there. Don't know. No. So when it comes to, am I going to go through the work to learn the MT12? No, because ultimately, I'm not a radio swapper. I'm making a determined effort not to run 10 different rigs on one radio. When I even get up to like 3 rigs on one radio, well, realistically past 3. Lord Pennaby, Baseline, and Wolverine are all on one radio because I would never be driving them at the same time, because one is the Class 2 test, one is Class 3, and one is Class 1. So it's fine by me that they share a radio. But in every other application, it's Texas Ranger rules. It's one rig, one radio. I would say screw rubbing from a link bracket, but these link brackets are... Oh, I think it's that. It is. So this screw must be 2. This screw that comes right in through here must be just... Get it framed. There. Must be just a hair too long and it's rubbing on this. I wonder if it over time scored the drive shaft, because it is a pretty clean break. Although now that I'm looking at it, it looks like it's got a holler. So it might be a holler. Yeah. No. If the screw is rubbing, the screw is not the problem. You see it? See the little dent right in there? There's a little void in the metal. So it just had a weak spot. I ain't got the money to buy. I earlier commented about the weed thing because you were working on Bruce's engine bay with the Kydex, and you said she stepped in and asked if you were smoking it. Oh, that's right. Now I remember. Yeah. Yeah, and that Kydex does have a little skunky smell. It does smell a little skunky. But no. I only inhale fumes that are probably more dangerous. All right. So these Amazon guys should get the job done. That's the hope. Let's hope all the bearing sizes are the same. We don't have to change too much. Oh yeah, it's gonna slap dash. It's gonna slap dash. I ain't got the money to buy 5 radios. I can barely afford 5 rigs. Well, that is because you are a youth. Youth. When I was your age, oh, I don't want to admit to this. When I was Hugo's age, it was like 1991. I definitely couldn't afford 5 rigs either. I had 1. Did you get to drop that package off this week? I did. I sent it that following day, which was whatever day that was. Monday? Tuesday? I'm surprised it hasn't gotten there yet, but at the same time, I'm not surprised because it's Postal Service, so. You should have seen the condition of the 2 boxes I got via UPS. Unbelievable. One of them, it looks like they rode the box to the house. And then I got a lithium battery delivered in one from Amazon that they basically collapsed the whole box. These are well made. I mean, what kind of fitment am I expecting from from an axle that on Amazon with front and rears? We're probably under $20. Why don't worry too much about breaking this stuff. If you break cheap stuff, you replace it with more cheap stuff, and then eventually, if you get to the point where you don't want to replace it with cheap stuff anymore, oh, these wheel hexes will not fit these stub axles. These are 6 mil. So does that mean it's not fitting that bearing? Oh, I had a feeling, call it a suspicion, that this was going to turn into a thing. It absolutely is. I ran across some Class 1 silicone instruments for $650. I can't figure out any sort of way that makes sense from a business. It doesn't. It doesn't. I ordered letter openers off of Amazon. I ordered letter openers that were about $4 for a pack of 6. Shipped it for free by itself in its own envelope. You know, Bruce has got the spare. I found white. These were $3.50. $3.50 for a set of 4, and they shipped it by itself in its own mailer. I don't like it. I mean, I know that they deal in volume, but how can you sell something for $3 where if I give away a set of tires, it's going to cost me between $5 and $10 just to ship it to somebody. But Amazon's like, oh yeah, not a problem. Doesn't matter what it is. We'll ship that to you for free. I got, oh, now I got to try to find hexes. My table saw that I traded out for this one. So the table saw, I guess technically before the table saw that I have now, shipped on Prime. I bought a chop saw. My chop saw weighs like 80 pounds, Prime. My X-Max 3D printer, 66 pounds, Prime. Amazon just doesn't like to charge for shipping. I don't know. I think some of these are too wide. Well, that's way too wide. There'll be no room to bolt anything on. I'm going to end up putting this thing together without hexes just so I can get it put together, you know? Yeah, AR-44 won't fit any of the through pin style. Yeah, I want to say that the minimum for Postal Service for ground advantage, like, or even first class, if it's not a flat pack if it's not an envelope with the Postal Service, it's going to cost a minimum of $4.50. Like 1 ounce that isn't an envelope costs $4.50. $4.50 per ounce. I know the shipping is built into the price, but on some stuff it sure doesn't feel like it. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Truitt got the, they don't even care. Amazon does not care. If you have any item that has a long dimension on it, they will ship it with whatever box they can grab that has that dimension. I can tell you how they do it. All the drivers that are running for future dirt cheap miles, because we get paid by the mile under bidding, everybody race it to the bottom. Yeah. It's not infinitely sustainable for sure. It's gonna course correct at some point. Then the price of everything is gonna go up, and then we're all gonna complain about it. And then they're gonna have to pay the drivers more, and then the price is gonna go up more. This is Amazon in a nutshell. I just opened this bag for the wheel hexes, and then there's this bag, and then you take that bag out, and then all of the wheel hexes are in yet another bag. I don't think those are 8s. I ordered 8s, and my micrometer, no, it's an 8. That is an 8. I think 8s are too big. I think I need 6s. But, well, he doesn't run deeps. Oh, he's got big offset hubs. We can just change his hubs. I'm gonna spend most of this whole stream lightheaded and replacing Ghost Rover's parts, because he needs 1 axle shaft replaced. But if you think, for even a fraction of a second, that I will be able to just replace 1 drive shaft and him have different size nuts on different wheels, I can't do it. Yeah, things on Amazon have gotten cheaper. Where's my... Hold on. Wait right there. Don't move. Stay where you are. This showed up in Amazon. So you've all seen these before. Kind of turbine-y. These are the -10s. Right? 6-bolt on the back. These were $19. $19 on Amazon. Not on AliExpress. On Amazon, $19. I already have a set of these, and this was the only color that was super low price. But if you're offering me 1.9s for under $20, I'm gonna take them. So they can keep at it. I've watched the prices on AliExpress work to almost achieve parity with the prices on Amazon, which is crazy. What brass fits the Mias nylon portal? Vanquish. You can go on Amazon. I could create you a link if you are interested. You go on Amazon and you can find, just search for like VS410 brass or F10 brass, Vanquish F10 brass, something like that. And you can get the big, heavy brass knuckles, the ones that are direct clones of the Vanquish, and they usually cost about $35. You can also get the full F10 brass kit, and it pretty much all fits. Like the fronts and the rears will both fit. I just get the fronts because I think I'm running rear weight on like 2 rigs here. Ironsides and Rainbird, because Rainbird got so light that we had to start putting weight back on. And Ironsides, if you want to run a Defender, you're going to have to deal with heavy. These are going to fight me. It's been fighting me. It's going to keep fighting me. There. Oh, man. Well, good thing we have a couple extra bags. Amazon is on a mission to own the world. They're well on their way. I don't even pay for Prime. I just wait a week for them to ship it to me for free. I have become... I would love to say that I am not dependent on Prime, but that would be... I don't think that would be accurate. I mean, if I want to get something, If I want to look something up, if I want a action camera, if I want an SD card, if I want printer ink, if I want anything remotely specialized, the first place I'm going to look is Amazon, because if I look anywhere else, the only one that has even gotten me to get their business on more than one occasion is surprising to me as to anyone. Best Buy. I've encountered cheaper prices at Best Buy than on Amazon, which is wild. And I got my GoPro at Best Buy because it was cheaper at Best Buy and I could pick it up. I did the order from home and got an email in like 10 minutes. It was like, yeah, come down and get it. I was like, all right. Good on you, Best Buy. But anything else, all of the stuff that I was using to string the lights, to put the lights up outside, I had to get on Amazon. Go down to Lowe's and try to buy one turnbuckle. Like, it'll be like $6.50. You can get a pack of 6 for $10 on Amazon. And it's not like they're lower quality. It's the same turnbuckle. They have the same stamping on them and everything. That economy of scale. Amazon is just abusing that economy of scale. They're doing something that no one else can compete against. Nobody else can do that. I've been checking out the Amazon Today deals, and there's, yes, every once in a while, man, there's a deal that they get you because you will readily admit that is not money you were going to spend until you saw that thing pop up. That's how they get you. Then they get you hooked. That money that I pay annually for Prime, I wish I could say that I didn't order from Amazon almost every day. I've gotten 6 packages from Amazon just this morning. And I have stuff coming tomorrow, and I have stuff coming Sunday. Amazon Fresh will get you. They moved one of the wife's vitamins onto Amazon Fresh, so I had to make an Amazon Fresh order. It came in 90 minutes. They're trying to get us to never leave the house, and let's be honest, I'm kind of cool with that. Can you show a close-up of your leather punch for venting tires? I bought one and it kind of sucks and I want to replace it. I have had this leather punch for an absolute eternity. It's got the little revolving wheel, and you will notice that there's only one of them. The 4mm hole is the only one that actually gets any use because that's the only one I use. It is bare bones, very simple. I have another one that has replaceable little guys. You can replace the guys. I bought that one and it was about $12 on Amazon. I don't know. I just like this one. It absolutely does it. It's probably punched fewer holes in leather than any other material. But there's your gut. Like it is absolutely nothing fancy. So if you got this one and you don't like it, I don't I don't know what to tell you. I have to vent so many tires I don't even put it away. I just leave it sitting on the shelf. I got some 3D inserts and the wheel inner rings don't totally fit snug inside them. Is that a problem? Yes and no. Yes and no. Most inserts are going to slide around a little bit. If it's excessive, like if the ring just drops through, my recommendations are either friction tape or hockey tape. Or even electrical tape will work too. Just put one wrap of tape around the beadlock ring itself. You want to be able to slide the insert over it and not like scudge the tape off. So you generally only need one little wrap of tape around it just to help it stay in the center. Most times with the 3D printed, the beadlock ring fits so tight that you have to press the thing into place. Let me see what I can find. Yeah, these are some another one that needs to be tested that's printed here, and like you gotta typically in 3D that's what I'm used to seeing. Like that's not you gotta so if they're loose, a little bit of tape around the outside of the ring, and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about like physically affixing them or anything They don't need that much help, because if they're gonna move, they're gonna move. Do you ever get rips in the holes from punching the tires? No. Never have. I've never had a tire rip at the point where it was vented, because a circle is very strong. Strongest shape. Because the forces are applied evenly all the way around. I've never had one rip there. Every tire I've had rip will rip at the bead. Or inexplicably, it's got a flap. There's like a piece of wire or something sticking out of a piece of concrete or something, and it just cut him open. It cut that tire open. I've glued many a tire back shut again. I don't even know if I'm going to glue this one back shut. I might just leave it. I mean, I can try to get a little bit of glue down in that corner. See if I can glue that back down. He's just starting to get that nice feather on his holds. I struggle with the concept of putting holes in tires. You got to punch holes in tires. Yeah. These, all of them. If you could see up here, can I tip it? All of these up here, they're all semi-pneumatic. It's what they do. They rely on the foam for support, but they rely on air. You've got to get that 14.7, 14.6. You got to get that PSI in there. You got to have that 1 atmosphere of pressure. And the way to test this is mount up your tire, don't ventilate it. Then either drive down in altitude or up in altitude and watch your tire either swell or crumple down onto itself. They need to be ventilated to operate properly. And people say, oh, well, I spend all my time in the water. I never spend any time in the water, and now I spend too much time in the water. And if the wife sees water, she's straight into it. Straight into it. And I'm going to put her back on the 2.2 RTs. And I have an insert for it. And the 2.2 RT is not something that you can get an insert for, because there's not a lot of inserts out there that are built for 2.2s that are 4.65 inches tall. We're going to get there. You should do a test on trail tires with no holes as opposed to ones holes. None of my trail tires, which is most of them, have holes. They seem to flow. Well, okay. Now, if we're talking about trailing, you could probably get away with no holes until the water gets in and destroys everything inside of it. Or it's hot and you drive into cold water and the tire just does the oil can thing and just collapses in on itself. Because you have to realize, even if that tire is sealed, it's not a vacuum. There's still air inside of it. And then that air is now its own little environment. So there are times when that air is going to attempt to equalize with the pressure outside, but it has this whole rubber membrane in the way that's going to prevent it from equalizing to the pressure outside. And you're going to get tires that either balloon up or shrink down. Now, if you're rock crawling, do it. Do the test at home. Just snake bite your tires. It's the easiest way to do it, so you don't have to unmount them. Mount your tires. Oh, snuggy. Mount your tires unventilated. Drive it, and then you don't even have to remove them. Let me get a crap tire. Okay, so mix racing off-road. I'll probably give these away if anybody's interested in them. So you just fold it like that, and you go like this. You snake bite, and you go like that, and it just leaves two perfect little side-by-side. It just leaves two perfect little side-by-side vent holes. Don't have to remove them. Don't do nothing. How did I develop the snake bite method? Well, it's real easy. Mount up your tires and realize you didn't ventilate one of them. So you just pinch, punch, make two holes. And they're two just tiny little holes right side by side. So it's not going to hurt it. If anything, it's probably going to work better. Evening all. Ho you all well. Hey, watch it. Watch who you're calling hoes. I left one of my unvented tires in my car at work in the middle of the summer and it pooched out like a balloon. Yes. I accidentally drove a brand new Kraton into a pool the other day and was thankful those tires come pre-vented from the factory. Yes. Accidentally drove into a pool. That's a very Kraton thing. Sometimes my pee doesn't work and I don't notice. How do you not notice when your pee doesn't work? Like, if my pee doesn't work for like 4 hours, I start to get concerned. I got my first RC back in 91, 92, Associated Gold Pan car. I could never afford one. I had probably 30 cars, trucks, boats, and planes through the 90s. Good Lord, how the hobby has changed in 25 years. Oh my goodness. Not even 25 years. Let's say 15 years. Like in 25, almost nothing is the same. All of the brands that you knew and came to love, they're all gone now. They're all gone now. Novak's gone. Tekin still exists as a form of a technicality. Man, yeah. When I got back into the crawling thing, it was, or when I got into the crawling thing, it was eye-opening how much, and honestly, had changed. Let me guess. Fit? Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm going to bolt the front on. We're going to do that. And then we're going to measure the front, and we're going to see how much wider it made it by going to a thicker hex. And if we're talking, like, what's the over-under? 8 millimeters? We'll say like 8 millimeters. If it's 8 millimeters, we're just going to leave it. Yep. We've got full depth on the hex, so not a problem there. I mean, I can easily go narrow, or can I? Or can he? Because when I watch that tire swing, it's getting awfully close to the front bumper. Nice. Nice. Ugh. Oh! Long travel will get you in long trouble. All right. That, I don't know, looks fine. 260. I'm probably fine with 260. It's 255. It got 5 millimeters wider. Ship it. Papa Yogi says, Papa Color Yogi says, I'll take them. All right. I also feel like non-vented tires keep my room cleaner. Well, that's true. That's not arguable. How do you know when tires need to be replaced? Funeral Bazaar, let me tell you. I am still waiting for the moment when I get a tire that has worn to the point where it is no longer generating traction. Now, when we were talking about go fast stuff, it's a lot easier to tell when they're worn out because the tread is gone and they don't work anymore. But in crawlers, really, to get, well, here you go. Okay, store this in your mental data banks. Look at this and look at what that lug looks like. See that lug? This is a very minimally used canyon trail, cut canyon trail. Center and small lugs cut out. You see that edge has just started to go away a little. Mental database. This is a basically run 3 or 4 times uncut canyon trail. Just got some little chatter on the outside edges. A canyon trail in the prime of its life looks like this. Like, look at that. It looks like it's made out of EVA foam. Look how smoothed over the fronts of those lugs are. This is like peak traction for a crawler tire. When you get them full feathered. I can't show you same scale, but we've got the big dog. 575. This is basically just a little bit of edge in the front, but largely an uncut. Like that lug has been, we got a little tendrils coming off, but that lug is at 98%. And then you have a tusk that is in the prime of its life, much like, oh yeah, look at that. Look at that feather. Now, at a certain point, like, think of the little sipes, the little useless sipes, think of them as wear bars. When you wear through the lug to a certain point, it's going to start providing less traction. And you'll know, particularly if you crawl in places repeatedly, like you crawl in the same place over and over again. You'll hit a spot and you'll go, ooh, that didn't, it kind of went a little, like we didn't, it got a little squirty. I have yet to get a tire organically to wear to the point where it needs to be discarded. Everyone has dry rotted out first. There's a gentleman right behind me. Let me remove one of his, let me find the tool to remove one of his tires. Well, okay, I'm getting super distracted. It's awesome. Fold them half, do a half punch. Much easier to do the snake bite. Yep. Any other drawbacks to the HD 44s despite the damage you're fixing? Not these. These are the Mias. Okay, there's a lot of them out there. And when you're looking at them, here's what you want to look at. C-hub. I am a C-hub. I am a knuckle, and I go like this. Knuckle outside the C-hub. You will see a lot of these HD 44 clones that look like this. That is how portal axles go. So I guess they just kind of quasi-cloned. If they do this, I have never found a weighted knuckle that mounts like this. Only like this. The knuckle goes over big snake, big snake, eat baby snake. If they go like this, be aware that your weight options are going to be limited to what you can put in the rim and on the hub. But if they go like this, the world is your oyster. These basically just use AR-44 knuckles. At least I think they might be AR-45 knuckles. No, I think they're AR-44 knuckles. Well, they must, because I just replaced them with AR-44 drive shafts. I mean, it doesn't mean that they must. They might be. Oh. Let me find the right one. Or I could just remove them all. Do that. Could do that. Okay. Baja Claw looks absolutely fine to the naked eye, right? What happens over time is we get an aggressive degassing. And these are basically in the process of disintegration. This is what happens to tires. Yeah, as Swamper says, I've only had racing tires wear out. I had bought clay bars, clay pins, stuff like that, J Concepts, barcodes, Goosebumps, stuff like that. And you run them 5, 6, 7 times out of the track and they would be completely bald. You would turn them into slicks. We can kind of, depending on the terrain, we can almost get away with a slick. So it's not like that tire is automatically dead if it has no tread on it. And every tire is going to be different. How low you can get the tread before they stop working. Yeah, that was a good tire. And I don't know, because of the way I am, I don't know if I'm going to put him back on Baja Claws. The Baja Claws did great, but if memory serves, that was one of Tranquish's, okay, let me try to answer the questions. Tires will degrade quicker if you don't use them. Not really. Tires will degrade more quickly based upon their environment. Sunlight and its co-conspirator ozone are what will destroy your tires, right? And then the degassing, depending on how exotic the compound is. The stickier and the tackier and the gummier it is when it's young, the more it's going to degas, it's going to get rigid, it's going to start to fall apart. Which is why a canyon trail looks exactly the same. Those tires that I just showed you, we'll just grab them down again. These are effectively Jolly Green's tires. This is the RTR Compound Canyon Trail that came on a Defender that I bought in 2020. These are 5 years old. They have no apparent degassing. You can see the glue ring from where they were debonded. These are the originals. Like, the Canyon Trail doesn't rely on an exotic compound to work. So they will last nearly forever. Even with the S1s. All of the other ones that I have are all S1s because Canyon Traxxas went to a mono spec on the compounds. But the more exotic it gets, the faster they're going to go downhill. Keep them out of the sun. Don't let them get hot. It's like bicycle tires. Bicycle tires behave the same way. I kept mine in an old Igloo cooler. They're still in an old Igloo cooler now. Keep them in cool. Treat them like cigars. Treat your tires like cigars, and they'll do well. But, like, I know for a fact that I have tires that are on rigs where the rig's bays are too close to power tools. And power tools with big old AC motors on them generate a big burst of ozone during operation. How do I know this? This building is slightly climate controlled. And in the winter, it's not climate controlled at all. So what happens is, I go over, the belt disc sander is the most notable one. I go over inside the shed, it will be between 40 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not particularly cold, but it's cool. And when I turn that thing on, all of a sudden the white breath is billowing out of me like I'm a dragon. And that's because the air is filling with ozone from that motor in operation. So, the rigs that are in the garages directly above the compressor are at the greatest risk of having their tires fall apart. As a matter of fact, Ironsides lives there, and he is on his second set of ripsaws because the first set of ripsaws rotted out on the inner sidewall because apparently his position, the little ozone wave comes a little tighter around him. I also had a urethane airline that ran along the front wall of the building about 10 inches from where the motor is on the table saw. And one day that hose just fell apart because it got bombarded by that motor kicking on all the time. The more powerful the motor, the more powerful the field. So it's going to take care of things even faster. But all the tires that are up here on the rack not getting used, let's take a look. The Boom Racing Hustlers have been up there for literally years now. And they still basically look brand new. So it's not disuse. It's not even misuse. It's the same thing that ruins your patio umbrella before the wind can blow it away. The sun. So I wish I could get a tire to wear out. But instead, and this is why we change. Okay, there's looks a little short. It's a little short for a drive pin, yeah? What question of Mr. Hurley's did I ignore? You know that chat's going pretty fast, man. Yeah, slick tires can absolutely still crawl. Chuck Hurley, where's he at? It had to be forever ago, man. Say it again. Say it again, unless I missed it. Predator tires crack pretty easily. That is absolutely true. I've had some spicy food, so I'm aggressively degassing right now. I know how that is. I had some Ansman tires that started to rot in a strange way. They're slowly turning to powder. Everything they touch are left with soot on them. Neat! My Tamiya Lunchbox and Marui Big Bear tires have rotted out. Well, they're probably from like the 80s or the 90s. So we're supposed to smoke them? Smoke them if you got them. I used to keep mine in a mini fridge, but I'm in Arizona, so everything is hot. There's that. And what do I do if I don't know how to treat cigars? Treat them like baseballs. That's not going to help Mr. Spain either. Keep them out of the sun. Keep them away from keep them away from electricity, basically. Things that consume electricity, produce electricity. Keep them away from electricity and keep them away from sunlight. I'm going to wait for Chuck to ask his question again. Don't I have an affectionate spot for Boom Racing Hustlers? I absolutely do. It looks like a drive pill, not a pin. That's because it was snapped apart inside the hex. but it's snapped in the middle of the pin, so it's still kind of held together. The other part escaped. The other side is absolutely fine. I break those. That's way up there at the top of the list of things that get broken the most around here is wheel pins, because this is how I tighten my wheels down. So it's mostly me cracking them. The sun is literally the worst thing. The thing to keep, and oxygen, the sun and oxygen. Oxygen is what's killing us all right now. We're all oxidizing. Why do you think they sell antioxidants? But without oxygen, we're all dead. We're all dead and it's all killing us. Without the sun, we're all dead and it's all killing us too. Are you planning on trying the new Endura chassis that you're supposed to do yesterday? You mean the Endura Mias? The Endura Mias? Like the one with the FMM is just a gold rush. Now, Endura, sneaky, looks like they're going to price that thing at about $90. So, yeah, I will almost certainly be trying one. What width hollow balls do the Mias Capra axles use on the link mounts and lower shock mounts? I want to say 7.5. I want to say 7.5, but I can tell you for sure. Let's just fill up the bench. We'll fill up the bench. Yeah, I see brass. If I see brass, it's a 7.5. I'm still not convinced. I've yet to convince myself yet. 7.5. 7.5. But, ooh, tricky. It looks, son of a glop. It looks like the inner bolt might be a 7. That's not very nice. $7.36. So 7.5. They're going to be a little tight. But it's 7.5 pretty much all the way across on the axle. Unless the uppers are 7s. And those might be... Oh, wait. I can get to it this way. $7.5. Yeah, it's 7.5 all the way around. Good. I really started to worry there. It wouldn't be the first time that I've seen an axle use 2 different size bolts. With hull balls. Did you ever get my package I sent you for the chassis kit? Yes. It is on the list. It is not only on the list, it is on the whiteboard of things that I hope to work on sooner rather than later. And as a matter of fact, it is the intended recipient for that Mias LCG gearbox. Someday I'll get to build it. The question was, do you know what number on the Jolly Green chassis Zoku is on? He says that after the weekend, the next 10 will be ready to go. So I'll be sending out the emails to numbers. 2 people didn't get numbers sent to them because one of them is... I saw Jimbo here. Didn't Jimbo drop $15? Jimbo! There's Jimbo's kit. Does not fit in the box. It was dropped off here directly by Zoku yesterday. And then, as you know, RC Zilla's is in a box over by my table saw. So they didn't need to get the discount code set to them because their shipping operation is going to be a whole different thing, right? So basically numbers 13 through 22 will be, the codes will be going out like Monday or Tuesday. Gumby does have googly eyes. Doesn't it just make it better? So good. So much. Treat them like your olives. I know what an olive is. I sold several sets of Tamiya BFGs that were 25 years old. Yeah. Any trick on keeping wheels tight? And I'm assuming you mean that they keep falling off. I've harped. We're here. I will harp again. A nylock, like this. This is a nylock. A nylock nut is intended to be single use. Once you tighten it down, good. Once you remove it, the threads have cut their way into that nylock, and now that nylock is not going to hold as well as it did before. The best way to keep your wheels tight is to go on Amazon and buy yourself a big sack of M4 wheel nuts. This is the kind I bought most recently because I throw them away more often than average people do, right? Don't buy that kind if you can avoid it. The kind you want, and the kind that doesn't typically come in big, convenient 100 bags, you want the nylock that looks like this. It is flanged, it is nylock, and on the back, it is serrated. And just change your nuts. And if they start to go, you get yourself a little of this, put one little dab right inside from the bottom, and then put them on. There are no tricks. I'll take 60 seconds or less to address the sussman's how to torque your wheel nuts. What do they call it? Over-analysis, over-engineering, overthinking, over everything. Oh no, I dropped them in a drawer. I only missed with 2. So like they live right in here. See, M4 wheel nuts. They live right in there. So I hit the target with most of them. The Sussman, talking about how to properly torque a wheel nut. That torque spec like that only works for nuts. Torque spec for nylocks is a whole different thing because, and like as Rudy says, if you don't want to scar up your hub, just order the big bag Amazons with the smooth backs. Put a dab of purple in them. I don't know if I'd go to full lock nuts, like this the star type on the outside. They will definitely work, but they will definitely also rip your wheel apart more than even a serrated nut will. Oh, the Sussman. I keep forgetting. A nylock nut, like this gentleman right here, has a thing that none of us are going to factor in. None of us are going to factor in. It has a thing called prevailing torque, because there's the amount of torque required to get the threads to punch their way through the nylon for the first time. So if you take this nut and you set a torque driver of some sort, whatever, torque stick, torque wrench, whatever you're using, and you tighten this down, if you remove this nut and go to put it back on, the torque number will not be the same on that nut anymore because it doesn't have the nylon in it anymore. Torque spec like that, any of y'all mechanical people, y'all know that if it's wet, there'll be a dry torque and a wet torque basically. Like if you've got anti-seize on something, if you have any sort of even thread lock is going to affect the way torque is applied. Pardon, Aimé Francais, I don't give a shit what the actual numbers are. We've got a guy, and we go like this. We remove this nylock, which will theoretically shorten its life just a little bit more because it is single use, but we use them until they stop working. And we go like this. About a 3 ugga dugga. On. That's it. You know what? It's not going to fall off. It's probably not. I guess the number one way to ensure your wheels don't fall off is just check them. Get a wrench. Get a 7mm wrench that you like. Like, imagine like this guy, little triangle guy, little grippy guy, with a 7 on it. This one happens to have an 8. And just keep it in your pocket. Particularly if you're out in the wild. And just be able to tighten them down. Because any part that can come loose will come loose. And it's not going to ask your permission to do it. Spring stop used metal in the thread to replace the nylon. Oh. You can always solder the wheel nut in. TRX4 kit is $359, and the Element Trail Builders kit is $200. Which is a better buy? Okay. If you can get the BK3, that's a killer deal at $200. Like, you're getting a lot. There's not a lot that needs to be replaced. There are some weaknesses inherent to the Element axle. The 359 Traxxas one is what they call the scale and trail kit. I don't really recommend it. It's basically the full-blown TRX4, but without a body. Like, it still comes with the servos and the electronics and all that stuff. You'd be better off saving the $30, $40 and buying a Sport. We all still wish they made the TRX4 Sport kit, but alas, if wishes were horses, as they say. So, currently, I don't think there's a better deal on the market than those BK3s. I know somebody said that Tower still has them. I know A-Main is out. There they are. Yeah, I wasn't hot on the BK3 until I found out that they lowered the price by like $70. And bonus, the Stealth XF comes with the correct bits, meaning it has a slipper and non-lightweight outdrives on it. Because if it had the slipper eliminator and the factory team outdrives, I would say pass. But right now, the BK3 is the way to go. $200, man. Honestly, we can hope. We can hope against hope. It's never going to happen. But we can hope against hope that Element will just keep it at that price. Because then Element will be viable again, as far as I'm in my estimation. Because I don't tend to currently think about Element. Because they keep creeping their prices up. A-Main usually has coupons and usually fill back orders. Yeah, if A-Main shows it as available on back order, it's not a bad way to go. But I would skip the scale and trail Traxxas kit. Afternoon, all. Thought is to put a Fusion AGFRC and Fusion SE and an AGFRC in the BK3. To solve your pinion gear concerns, which are valid and relevant. Luckily, it's an easy fix. You just replace the inner pinion bearing with a bushing. You should be able to buy them by the piece. I want to say they're 5x10s. I don't know if the Builder's Kit 3 has the new SE spec axle, meaning that it's a 5x12. If it's a 5x12, A, that's a dumb size. B, it will provide more durability, but also make it more difficult for you to get a suitable bushing. Now, I've bought an SE in the past. Baseline's right up there. So I have a whole drawer full of bushings. And all of my Element axles that have not been converted to SSD have just bronze oil bushings on the inner pinion. So instead of inner pinion bearing, inner pinion bushing. Because when that thing starts to get chatty and tries to work itself out of position, it can't work its way through a bushing. The bearing is the problem. It's a compounded problem. They made a pinion that's too small, and then they put a bearing in it that is too small. 5x10 inner pinion is wild work when you take into consideration that Like most places are using 13s, are using 5x13s on the inside. And for those of you who know the geometry of it, the size difference between a 5x10 and a 5x13 is more pronounced than just 3 millimeters. This thing had really wallowed out. These are not tremendously well made. There's a reason that they're 5mm unreduced on the output, but I don't think it's really going to contribute to their longevity. I came in late. Have we started talking about amazing 80s movies and repressed childhood trauma yet? Not yet. Not yet. We will definitely get there. Online manual says 5x12. 5x12 will help you a lot. I would still recommend replacing it, putting a bushing in it. You know what might actually be the cheapest way? Look on AMain or the ordering site of your choice, and they will have, for the Enduro SE, they will have the full bushing kit. I'm going to look it up right now. I bet it's cheap. Enduro SE bushing kit. $16. $16 for the full Enduro SE bushing set. But 5x12 bushing. It's going to be hard to find, isn't it? Yeah. To me, it would probably be the best. Oh, I got to put in the third number. That's why. 5x12x4. That's a bearing. That's a bearing. That's a bearing. You know what it used to be? Let me tell you. It used to be a whole lot easier to buy bushings than it is now. It's downright hard to buy a bushing. Unless you buy the whole set from Element. Come on. Don't be like that. Be more agreeable. There we go. Nope. Come on. Baseline required how much money to over underdrive? You basically $60 basically. You basically what I did was I just bought a whole Stealth X and just took all the guts out of the Stealth X, put all of the internals from baseline away, and they're in Jolly Green now because I wanted to build a Stealth X that had no underdrive overdrive to put in a TRX6. So it all worked out in the end. But yeah, if you've got an SE and you want to add underdrive to it, the cheapest way is to basically just buy an entire Stealth X. And while you're at it, then you might as well just put a Stealth X in it instead of the XF. This is not enjoyable. These came out of the same bag. It has given me the business. Oh no, wait, they just got here. Okay. The Injora that looks like a Gold Rush, time will tell, you know. When it becomes readily available, I will order one, and we'll see how it looks comparatively. Injora's been doing great work lately. But I think Mias has been doing really good work lately. So it'll be tough for that thing to outdo Gold Rush, honestly. Because they're using it, they're not doing a kit, they're doing a chassis kit. So rails and a gearbox. I am intrigued. For sure. Oh, that's not good. What the hell? Oh, that's not fun. So, the HD44, I held them up against each other and they looked the same. So I started putting screws in. The HD44 does not use a quote-unquote standard rear drive shaft because the hole for the bearing is just right there. See that little differential right there? I don't know. I don't know if that's going to fit. It should clear, though. It should clear. But that internal axle is not quite the same size. Ugh, I feel like I just did. There we go. There we go. Got it. Now, okay, we should be able to get a hex on it. That's all I care. I dropped one of the screws. It is dead to us now. Easier to get out the whole bin. Just do it again. I knew this would take like an hour. Or over. Or much longer. Sure. Not sure if I missed it or not. What stiffness of foams did you land on in those holds? They are Canyon Custom Softs. Do I have an unmounted soft? Do you know what a soft is? Tim Tin inner with 2 wraps of fridge foam is what's in it. So stiff on the inside, soft on the outside. So you get easy deflection out here, but then the inner basically doesn't deflect at all because it's this. It's this on the inside with 2 wraps of fridge foam on the outside. It's honestly across the entire spectrum of inserts available to us. It is that which I have had the most luck with, the best luck with. Someday, we'll be able to get Tim Tins again, he says, with hope in his heart, with nothing to guarantee it. How is the element trailing arm not just a short link other than the shock placement? If the shock is in the middle of the arm, trailing arm. The arm is behind it. So yeah, the element is proper trailing arm. We still have one. Well, there's 2 trailing arm vehicles in the building. There's the GOM and Dana the Zool. But for a rock crawling application, as is indicated by its name, trailing arm is gonna slow you down. Has anyone figured out how to combine a VFD twin with a 4-link servo on axle? Yes. Is it possible there's an episode on this madness that confuses my brain? I mean, Zoku does it pretty easily. What is going on? What? What the? This one lines up, sort of. Oh, no, it doesn't. I'm going to have to machine these. I don't understand what's happening at this point. So 4-link with a twin. The way Zoku does it is the skid relocates the whole gearbox over about 4 or 5 millimeters, which gives place for that for the upper link on the left side. You can do it if your chassis will fit the skid for I think you can do it with the VRD skid. Basically, the VFD and the twin, they don't want to be 4-linked. They were cajoled into it. but it can be made to work. I don't know what is going on here. Why does that... What is... So it's the delete. The delete is way too long. Okay, we're going to have to try to get popping fresh with this. We're going to have to hope for some AR-44 parts hidden in here somewhere. No, those are super long. We can't do that. Element? Maybe element? We've got some real... Oh, element are splined. Can I slide one over nonetheless? Is there an axle I can steal a cap from? I just mounted my first Injora silicone on the 419s and 19 black gold wheels. Mounted them on my 10-3 leaf converted trail rig. Class 1s, man. Class 1s. You know you could have made Ghost River a mullet. You have almost brand new set of Mias nylons. I do. I have some screws I have loads of loose all the time, and others that if I drop them down on my hands and knees with a torch and a magnet. Yes. Mr. C, my buddy just bought a U-Tron. Any tips for that rig besides replacing the electronics? Well, you know the number one. You throw the body into a ravine, which is the only place for it. BFT might not want to be four-linked in the front, but it does work well. And then you get that clunk, 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 because it removes all the triangulation. The U-Tron is a SE with a different body, basically, and IFS. So you bought into a limitation, which is the IFS. And if you're good with the IFS, then realistically, same thing. It's got bushing already for the inner pinions, so you don't have to worry about that. Once you get rid of the electronics, there's not a lot wrong there, because, if anything, the SEs are more durable in that. Oh, man, I don't have anything. I am going to have to machine my own deletes. I don't understand. The hole is not in that different of a position. But with this delete on, the hole for the pin is inside the axle. Just purchased my first scale rig, Trailfinder 2. It was built for a 540. So anything 540 is going to fit without modification. There is still, sadly, a fairly large number of rigs that were designed explicitly for a 540. I don't... Okay. All right. That is a thin bearing. I don't think I have a 5x11x3. Yeah, the HD44. I don't know. I'm questioning the HD44 now because they really went their own way on this thing. The fitment. If you break anything, you can't just drop it. Well, the front you can, but in the rear you can't just drop in a replacement. Do I want to run 4mm front axles and 5mm rear axles? Well, no, but I at least want to get this one seated so I can see what they look like to see the difference. There you go. It just pulls out into position. Why can't these do that? This is frustrating. Plastic links on a U-Tron. Yeah, the plastic links aren't necessarily an extreme drawback. So long as you're aware that if you want to replace one of them, you have to replace all of them. You basically can't mix and match plastic and metal, because the metal will cause the plastic ones to snap themselves. Okay, now that it just goes together, right? All right. So I put it together this way. Now we're going to try this way and see what happens. Yeah, that's weird. That's really weird. Basically, if you assemble the inner axle in first, did we lose another screw? Sure. Maybe we didn't, but for the purposes of this, we did. You kind of have to assemble the whole outer part first. Otherwise, I get, maybe it's over insertion. I don't know what it is. Make sure. Nope. Don't drop your M3x4s or whatever these are. An M3x5 will just lock the axle in. Yeesh. Still moves. Still moves. I'll get it put together. I swear I will. If you put both rear axle shafts in, can you push the other out with the other, as in the shafts are hitting each other in the spool? I think that's what it is. I think it's not explicitly that they're hitting each other, that they can go in. Okay, his track width is now, it looks much wider in the back. What happens is it locked? Is there a screw that's too long? Is that what we're working with? Don't do this. Don't do. I've broken enough 1.5s. I should learn my lesson. Okay. We put a screw in that's too long, and it's locked the rear axle in. Is it this one? Nope. Is it this one? Yes. Oh, why did I have to drop that screw? I think they're M3x4s. I do not have a surplus M3x4s. Too long. Too long. There, wait, come here. Looks like it. I could feel it hit the axle. So that is why I couldn't get it put together before. Anything longer than an M3x4 just locks. basically just set screws the rear axle into place. This is why most axles use a delete that clamps over the outside with a perpendicular screw rather than a screw that goes into the housing, ignoring the fact that the 10 Pro exists, because the 10 Pro definitely penetrates into the housing, and you can do the same thing. So whatever you do, don't change any of those screws. So there's basically slack. The axle has slack on the inside of it. This was way more work than it should have been. So yeah, they're M3x4s, and an M3x5 will lock the axle. So there's every chance in the world that that front was rubbing, like a screw that was just a little bit too long was actually touching the drive shaft and eventually resulted in its failure. I cannot rule it out. Okay, that pin is too long for that hex. And the pin that goes to the hex rolled off the bench. So we'll just try a different one. Yeah, so I guess the one that comes in the axle is about 3 millimeters longer. Now, depending on how that set screw interfaced, we might have a wobbly rear end when it moves. No, it looks all right. Looks all right. And we are just under 260. I don't know what just rolled off the bench. Something. It's dead to us now. It's dead to us now. I knew. As soon as I got the tools out, I was like, it's going to turn into a thing. And then it did. Absolutely turned into a thing. I think it was the other axle. Oh, there it is. All right. Now, hopefully we don't break anything in the short term. I would prefer not to have to do that again soon or ever. Where is it? Let's just see. Do you think it's worth the cost and effort to switch my Traxxas RCs over to Radiolink or FlySky receivers? I love Radiolink. It depends on what path you're going to go down. If you're going to go down, if you're a one radio man, like if you own 3 rigs and you're going to buy one radio, treat yourself. Get yourself like a Noble NV4 or something like that. Just buy once and then just get receivers for it. If you're doing a radio per rig, put RC4s in them. Whether you order them off of Amazon, whether you get them from AliExpress, wherever you get them, the ability to have cruise control, the ability to have all those adjustments on the fly, I think it's absolutely worth it. And typically you're looking at about $60 per radio. It's not like it's a huge expenditure in the grand scheme of things. We typically spend about $60 on a set of tires. So $60 for a radio seems like a bargain to me. And the TQ is not a terrible radio, but it basically is limited to that couple of channel duty. As far as an RTR radio goes, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But the RC4 is as close as anyone has gotten to a perfect rock crawler radio. It does all of the things that we need. It is inexpensive. The receivers are inexpensive. It is robust. It can fit a gigantic battery. I don't know if they still are, but for a couple days, these were 40% off. So after tax, these would be like $19 a piece. Genzace 3800 inside your Radiolink will run about 6 months. 6 months for $20. I don't think anybody's going to complain about it. So I'm a Radiolink in everything. I think I own 30 Radiolink RC4s. So if somebody asks, do you recommend an RC4? I'm like, Yeah, RC4s are great. Have you seen the CRX2X Perf chassis kit? I have not. Take the roller out in the yard, you'll soon find an M3x4. And more beadlock screws than you've ever seen in your whole life. If it's on spending big money on a radio, if it's between the Noble and the RC8X, I would go Noble. It's one of the only FlySky radios I would buy. I don't like the GT5. I hate the GP7. The G4P is one of the worst radios ever made, but the Noble is really a very good radio. And sometimes they go on inexplicable sale. So that would probably be the time to pick one of those up if you're looking to pick one of those up. But you know why I don't own a Noble? Do you know why there's no Noble in the fleet? Because I can buy 6 or 7 RC4s for the same money. And that is why. I'm cutting a lot of brass rod to approximate length for my little link-making side hustle. What would you use to cut the brass rod with? I cut it with a hacksaw. Good old hacksaw. And I do it the laziest way possible, which is I chuck it up in a lathe and it has a mark on it. And I just hold the hacksaw down on it while it's spinning in the lathe. And I go, zoip! And then I take that piece and I take a carbide cutter and I whoop, true the end off. But I make my links on a lathe, which is a luxury. Unquestionably, it's a luxurious situation because it allows you to do it very quickly and it enhances repeatability. But hacksaw is the way to do it. If you do anything like a Dremel, it's just going to make a big mess. Hacksaws are great because they don't throw stuff everywhere. Just big coarse brass dust falls down into a pile. Sometimes that's a bigger advantage than anything. I'm finding wheel pins just everywhere now. I have to go do some stuff. That was cryptic. Okay, now that he's gone, we can talk about tapas. Have you thought about making a magnet trailer to pick up screws and nails? I have one of those giant, it's got like big wheels on it, and I think mine is 3 feet wide, and it has a handle on it, because the magnet picks up everything, and when you pull the thing up, the magnet pulls away from the housing and everything falls off of it. I try to go out about once a month and gather up all the beadlock screws and body clips and everything else that's out there, and man, do I find a lot. And drive pins and you name it, all the things you would expect. And it'll still pull up nails and drywall screws and everything, even though I've gone over the whole place countless times. It's as if they're born up out of the earth. Since we're talking about radios, I've been thinking about getting that little Mias transmitter for trailing. Looks super easy to one-hand drive. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad option, but for me, if a radio for trail, absolute and non-negotiable, has to have cruise control. If it doesn't have cruise control, I don't want it. So I end up, Bruce was on an RC4. Bruce is now on an RC6 because I don't know why. I'm not 100% sure why. He didn't explicitly need a 6. Oh, I need a test. I need to do a tester. So we need to get one of these. This is the easiest way to find out what radio is paired to what receiver. This is why we keep Servos del Garbage. Now, I think this radio and this receiver are paired. So we're gonna guess. Because I don't even remember how to pair them anymore. It's been too long. I'd have to dig the manual out. Any light? Okay, I have this, but I have no throttle. Probably because it's out of okay. See if I can get it to calibrate. Oh, it calibrated. Hey! Okay, now let's do the same. Rigmarole, and we'll find. So these two are paired. Basically, for Gumby, I'm fine with either one, but I like this one has a purple wheel on it. So, well, also somewhere in this building is yet another RX 461. So he might be paired to that one. If it's the red wheel, it's the red wheel. And that. Steering and throttle. Like this. On. No signal. Oh. Turn it on. Oh. Here's the deal. I love an RC4. RC4, fantastic radio. For crawling application, probably the best we can do. I'm telling you. The feel of that damn trigger. I do like watching this thing thrash about. Like a fish. And then, oh, yeah. One of the best radios ever made, the M8, is the best radio ever made. I'll select, we'll go to model 3. Okay. So we get to start over from fresh. I can't bring myself to delete the models. My original Slash that I built all out of parts, my 15-inch wheelbase Slash, is model number 1 on this radio. I mean, it'll never be driven again, but it is model number 1. Okay, so hopefully we can just pop out this receiver. Pop in the alternative receiver. Get some MT4 action in here. Yeah. You have Spud and H and Hugo both hit the kicker button. I don't know if they can kick each other. I don't know if mods can oust mods. I don't know how it works. CX2 X Perf looks like a 10 Pro with element styled axles. Interesting. Yeah, I bought it. Man, let me tell you something. Somewhere in this building, probably in the loft, which is immediately right up there, probably in the loft, is what'd I do? What? Our googly eyes. That thought was almost lost. And I got to the Amazon Crossroads, which was how much are googly eyes on Amazon? And in the spirit of how does Amazon afford to do things, this was $4. $4. I might never have to, and of course, it only came with 4 of the size that I use, but like, look at these little guys. It makes you want to run around and put googly eyes on everything. But I am not going to get the ladder out and climb up into the dusty cobweb-filled rafters to hunt down googly eyes when I can get a box of like 400 googly eyes for $4. And that is how Amazon, I was going to say wins, but I think more accurately has already won, realistically. That's a lot of eyes. Yeah, I bought a pack of like 40 and only needed 2 to put on my 3D printer. Same price as a pair. Yeah, that's Amazon. I learned that with the cell phone charms, where like 800 cell phone charms were the same price as 100. So now I have cell phone charms for life. There's a bus stop up at the end of the street, and somebody put googly eyes on the realtor that's in the thing, and it may have been removed by now, but when it initially happened, it was absolute chef's kiss on that. Perfect placement. Channel 1. Channel 1. Throttle. Don't mind me. I'm just. The idea got in my head. Once it was in, Because why have a radio shoved under the bench that I love? I can put it in a rig. We will go aux 1. I think it's aux. Well, it's programmable. It's definitely programmable. I had forgotten it even does. It does 4-wheel steer mix right there. But I think I just want it on. I think I want it on step aux. Then I gotta. Okay, so aux 1 is the front knob, so I want it on aux 2. 4-channel radio will get it done for 95% of us, I think. The only beef is, if I had one complaint, it'd be that when I did this, it basically fits a 1300 because the Fox belly is right there. It's just right there, and I can't fit a 2200 in it. And I would love to be able to fit a 2200 in it because it's like 9 pounds. Oh, it's so fast. Okay, we definitely got to set endpoints on that. Oh, it's like silk. Mmm. Mmm. Oh. Blah. Also, you go back far enough in time and you find a company that could make the scroll wheel, but the scroll wheel actually works. Because when you, like, see, it says H&L, but when you turn it, it's adjusting that one. Oh. Everything is better with Google eyes on it. Okay. That's the thing about the method of control that these used back in the day compared to radios now. So ordinarily on the steering throw, you're almost never dialing up like I have a lot of radios where the left endpoint is set at like 62%, and the other side is set at like 58%. 146, 140. And oh, I gotta calibrate. I gotta calibrate. This thing ain't even gonna move. Oh, good God! On the one hand, I don't want to overemphasize, but I would also like to emphasize too much. I would like to both not and do overemphasize the difference. Like, this is luxury stuff, and if you're buying current luxury stuff, until you're getting into that Futaba money, Sanwa money, Fly Sky makes a great high-end radio. Radiolink makes a great high-end radio. It is not the same, guys. I mean, it is just. We need to zoom out a little bit. There we go. There they are. Yee! SA-75. Oh. I mean, there is such a thing as too fast. Like, you can definitely get into a servo that is too fast. But in four-wheel steer, ooh, we're gonna have to that is far enough off. It's so weird to me. One of the weirdest things to me is that because of the differences in the protocols, when you switch from one radio to another radio, it will change the center on the servo. Like, that servo is centered. And look at how far over it is. I try to avoid using sub-trim whenever physically possible. These tires are definitely bagged out. Yeah, the fronts are, I mean, but I've said it before. I'll come at you again. You have too much compliance when you have too much compliance. Like, when you can visibly notice that you're not making that climb because the tire is just bagging out and flailing. Now, in no situation, never once on the rock, have I seen Gumby look like he was bagged out and flailing. So I have no motivation to put firmer inserts on him. At the same time, I'm definitely going to try firmer inserts in him because you don't know, ultimately, until you know. Much closer. It's basically keyed over the other way now. And I think we could probably eat up the rest of it with sub-trim, but I will more than likely just sub-trim it. Because it's out by a tiny bit. What'd I say? A2? I sub-trimmed it way too much. I might have sub-trimmed it a little too much. And we won't really be able to tell. We won't really be able to tell until we're on the ground whether or not we get the trim, like, close. So that went far easier than I thought it was going to be. Figuring out the rear axle on Ghost Rover was much more difficult. Now I'm just beeping. Sanwa will also have entire Japanese. Uppercase, lowercase, and then into Japanese, and then into characters. And now we are Gumby. We're Gumby. So we are so conservative on the rear end. It's not even close to the stops. I'm going to leave it right there. It probably has about 75% throw on either side. Again, on the rocks we'll know for sure, but it feels fine. That's just going to be kinder and gentler to that servo. And if not for currently living in the tariff times, he would have two. I'd have gone BTA front and rear on him with A66 as the half heights. $300 is what it would currently cost to get two A66s. So, as one might anticipate, I'm not doing that. That's a good way into a build. $300. $300 on two servos is a lot. Yeah, I mean, in a dream, I would have 20 MT4s. But that receiver, this one, I don't even know if you can still get Sanwa 461s. I know you can get clones, and they are $100. I don't need that, but I already have it. And am I thinking now, Blue Sky High? Why not? You know? It just frees up another radio. Then that's another radio I don't have to buy. So just think about the money I'm saving by swapping that radio and then not having to buy another one. Does anyone know who makes an interior with drivers for the Injora Capra cage? Or if the actual one fits? I don't know the answer to either of those. This is where the 3D print guys go. Won't a fast rear servo just flip you quicker when you turn the wrong direction? Yes. It is definitely more immediate in the positive and or negative reinforcement, whichever one comes up. Because I still don't know how to drive four-wheel steer right, and I don't know. I genuinely don't know if I ever will. Where'd they go? What am I doing? Oh. Y'all know these, right? Does that look familiar? That is a beadlock. It uses 8 screws. I think all of them still have hexes in them. These are Nigels. These have never touched the ground. These are fakety fake high racks on plastic beadlocks. Y'all know the deal. You know how it works. Cost of shipping. There's 4 of these. These are the Mixed Racing Off-Road, which I said looked most like Nexen Rhodians. And then somebody said that there's an RC four-wheel drive. Do I want to say Compass? Compass? Is it the RC four-wheel drive Compass? Is basically this tire. There is a set of 4 of those. No foams. Swamper Rocks tire 112 on the cheap deeps. Single staging. Some of these were brought in by Mr. Truitt, who's here in the chat, because his wife said if he didn't get them out of the house, she was going to burn them, throw them away. She was going to do something aggressive. 155 Mickey Thompson Baja MTX. I think I have 2 more sets of these. They do indeed have foams. No wheels, no nones of that. BF Goodrich Baja TAKR2. These are bomber. These are RR10. These are bomber tires. They are 525s. They do have foams. They have foams. They're fitted with foams. I don't even know. Those are in a video. I don't know if that video is even up yet. And you might say, well, then why are you giving away? I have nothing to run those on. 525 Tusks. 575 Tusks. Pitbull PBX ATs. Genius. Razor wires. Like, even if when the opportunity comes up for me to fit something to, and I have another set of 525 Tusks. I have another set of 525 Megalithics. So, like, I have nothing. I have nothing to run those on. So there you go. They're just taking up space. So email is the usual. You send me an email, and we will find out what it costs to ship them. I'm pretty sure I have another set of something. I thought. Oh, yeah. Again, from Mr. Truitt, there's a hole in the bag from where all the hardware was purloined. These are axial. I'm sorry. These are Vanquish Falcon Wild Peaks, as you can see, with the brick foam. Stock Phoenix, the hardware was stolen. I don't know why people. It's good old Bag J. I don't know why people are so hot and hungry for Vanquish Wild Peaks. They're not good. They're made of taffy, and the sidewalls will tear apart almost instantly. When I bought my first couple Phoenix kits, I would take Bag J and just list it up on eBay and sell it for like $60 or $70, and I don't understand it. I don't know. I can't conceive as to why anyone would pay money for these. Like, I know that they sell them and that you can buy them independently, but like, why? For what reason? You have so many better options. Like, if we were talking about capability, yeah, they're right in here with the rest of these $20 a set freebie gimme cheapo tires. I thought I had something else. No. Let's do it this way. Stuff hasn't been filtered out to the back yet. I have the full set of 4 monster pin spikes. I don't know. Somebody had mentioned them. A guy on the Discord said that he wants the skull and bones, so I can set those aside for him. Um, 22575 fake Hyrax. Anything not claimed, just, well, right now, the other sock who is on here brought me these sweet bins, and these sweet bins are now full of tires. I had tried to give some of this stuff away before, and didn't have takers, but maybe we'll have takers today. Ooh, we can, how many, let's see how many we can find. How do you feel? How do you feel about 1.9 no name, not even, so basically these. Do they have the same dashes? Yes, these. So these are mounted. Oh, but wait. Are you ready? Prepare yourself. Let's see how high we can Jenga it before it. That's how high we can Jenga it. Why do I have so many of these? I don't know. There's another one. No. Yes. No. Found another skull and bones. And I believe someone said that they're taking the monster pin spikes. Okay, there's those 4. Can't have these. We reserve those. I don't know what those are. Yeah, we're getting into this is, aside from, this is a real trash bin. This is a real bin of trash here. It's not surprising that nobody put dibs on anything that's in here. This is an endless festival of garbage. There's like G-Made MT1902s in here, which are just catastrophically bad. The fake Braven Berserkers in here, which are catastrophically bad. Mr. Hurley, I know, I don't know if you've noticed, we're not, like, I'm giving these away. I ask for shipping and I give them away. Do I have extra big ruptures? No. I have 1 set total. They're on Zoidberg. I give away tires that are never going to be used. And sometimes I hold on to tires longer than I should because I assume, I'm like, oh, well, I don't know, maybe we'll use them on, I'm never going to use them on something. You know what? While we're at it, clear up a spot. Class 1 showdowns. They did okay. These are real. There's only 3 sets of real tires out here. The Vankies, the TAs, and these. Everything else is fake. So whoever wants just a plethora, because there are 15 of them out here right now. Is that right? Yes. There are 15 fake 1.9 Hyrax, which means one is missing somewhere. I heard, wait, hold on. Hopefully, that sends a dog viewer into a frenzy. So we'll see if he loses. I'm waiting for the update to see if that dog lost its mind. Ugh, one of these tires dropped crust everywhere. Oh, I got to find the other 3 of those off-roads. Which meant getting box 3. Oh, there's the last skull and bones. All right, so that was oh, there's 2. There's 3. And, oh, come on. 4. There we go. 4 skull and bones. Ooh, Copser C tones. I haven't seen the tones in a while. G made 2202s. G made 1902s. Some 2-2 Super Swamper Rocks tires. At least one. There's one in here. Usually if one is present, there's all 4. There's the... remember we talked about dry rot? X2S3, man. Poor Patagonia. Outside wall? Oop. Yeah. Done. Done. Are the skewers full? Yeah. They basically are. We need another place. I mean, there's 4 bins like this. We need another place to put tires, basically, is what it comes down to. Because I don't want to keep them in here. And most of them aren't good enough to give away. So the ones you're seeing are the ones that I would deem good enough to give away. I wouldn't bother paying shipping for the stuff that's still in the bins. Now, I will say on the Patagonias, that pair of there was 2 different foams. One of the sets of foams was Crazy Crawler, the little serrated ones. These was this exact foam, and then the rear foam was just a regular foam. It was this set that completely rotted apart. Correlation is not causation? I don't know. But the other 2 Patagonias still look fine. So, I don't know. Oh, also, anybody that's getting a set, like if you've opted to just get one set of tires, you're going to get a box that's just beat into the ground. You're going to get the most beat Amazon box you've ever seen. I'm going to have to try to reshape them back into something resembling an actual box. Mr. Spain asks, so the foams are the issue. I don't know. It has not been recreated. I have not seen another set of tires rot out on those same foams. So it's is correlation causation type of thing. Because the tires that are rotting out on Tranquish are a different compound, different tire. They're X2SX SS versus X2S3. The other set were axial ripsaws that rotted out, and those were on the little Injora dual stages, so who knows? Dig through my tire box and see if there's anything you don't want to test. I think I sent most everything back. There's a couple sets that still have tape on them. Don't fall. Don't fall. Don't fall. There's entirely too much stuff over there. So, from the Sputter Crawler collection, there are these extremely shiny 2.2 mudslingers that feel as hard as rocks. I can tell you right now. I mean, there's the part of me that wants to test those, and then there's the part of me that says those are going to be god-awful. I don't remember what these are. Stock tire from something like an Exceed or something. There was those. There's whatever these are, Sputter Crawler would know better than I. Whatever those are. I think there's one other set. Everything else was either tested or sent back. And I think the last set up there are these, which are well on their way. Wait, we need the two. Well on their way. Ooh, that's not good. Eee. These should go straight into the gray bins. Those are gassing out real bad. Yeah, all of them, all four. Void lug, not legal. Eee. Oh, these. Voided lugs, man. You can't have voided lugs. Those are Intigi tires. Temper tires. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the only 4 sets left of that. All the other ones aren't even suited for the skewers. Yeah, if they, yeah, you need a bigger sample size than 2 sets. Yeah, 100%. And no 2 sets have rotted out on the same foam. No 2 sets have rotted out in the same, not even in the same, like we have it, it's broken up into separate garages. Like we have the garage that's right over here to my left, which has 14 rigs in it. And then we've got the other ones that rotted out are in the garage all the way on the other side of the building above the 3D printers. We haven't had 2 sets rot out in the same place, or with the same foams, or on the same rigs, or even on the same plane relative from the floor to the ceiling. So whatever the commonalities are, I haven't identified any common factor in the rot outs. So I am not putting any of these tires back in those gray bins because they were they were overfilled, and now I want to squeeze it. The common factor is age. All different ages had been here for radically different amounts of time. So trying to find what the common thread is, I think ozone is the number one. They were positioned in such a place as to where they were exposed to more of the environment that they dislike in that location than other tires were. Because there is plenty of rig here. Argenum has been on, once he came off of, he was on his first run, because he was a launch edition, he was on VXT1s. Once he came off the VXT1s, he went on to not just Tusks, that set of Tusks. So that set of Tusks have been on there since 2021. I just found a set of Losi Rock Claws if you want them. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yeah, oh, if you have a 1.9 Ripsaw, it's old. It's already 10 years old. So the Ripsaws hold up. I'm almost positive the Ripsaws went due to ozone, due to proximity to the compressor. And if and when that set wears out, claim tusks. What? I'm not giving any tusks away. I don't give tusks away. I give away what you see before you. If you want tusks, Mr. Hurley, you're going to have to go online. Please use an affiliate link, and you're going to have to buy them. They're $24.75 a pair. And it's not only that. As Mr. Spain pointed out, no tusks for sale. Nothing here is for sale. if you would like to make a contribution to the Canyon, that's great. I would enjoy that greatly, because some weeks ago, probably about a month ago now, I kindly asked people to not gift memberships anymore, because I like the members section. I like the membership to be curated. If somebody wants to pay for a membership, I want them to pay for that membership, right? But I did that because I have a way that I want things to be, right? I want the members section to be curated so that I can make members only content, and then I can vent in that content a little bit, because if you are kind enough to contribute some of your own hard-earned money to the ongoings of the shenanigans in this building, then that's great. It means that you are willing to commit to do that. Gifted memberships go to just whoever, and there is virtually no carryover. Like, people that were gifted a membership and then continued that membership, I could probably count on one hand. So the number of gifted memberships per month was typically in the 200 to 250 area. I have voluntarily lost the revenue of 250 memberships a month, which, after YouTube finishes with their shenanigans, is in the neighborhood of between $400 and $450 a month. So my income stream has reduced by $400 to $450 a month, just like that. Thank you, Mr. Wyatt. And my prices won't go up. So my channel memberships cost what they cost. If you want the lowest tier, that's absolutely fine. That's why I priced it at the lowest tier. This is a hobby. You are in a house of a hobby, and the hobbies overlap. I like to buy cameras. I like to buy doodads and gewgaws. I am geared up. Y'all. All right, hold on. Wait a minute. So, am I committed to attempting an Anime Expo live stream? Well, here is my gimbal, which I thank God. I don't like this DJI product. The software is terrible. The gimbal itself works pretty well. It is now paired to a Manfrotto Element M3 because twist lock is the best lock. So I've got my monopod, and just this morning I received the microphone, the Hollyland Mark M2s, which will just plug into the bottom of my phone, and hopefully you will be able to hear me via this, because I think from the phone all you're going to hear is and we won't be able to hear anything. We're going to try it. We are absolutely going to try it. I'm committed. Well, I think more accurately, I should be committed. We will, as that robotic voice in Death Stranding says, we will keep on keeping on. Do you only have a license for that gimbal, or do they actually let you own that? I'm pretty sure the gimbal you actually get to own, because it doesn't actually record anything. Like I said, the gimbal itself is pretty good. On the other hand, the software is horrible. The software, the DJI software that pairs that gimbal is terrible. And that's often the case. They'll give you good hardware, terrible software, or vice versa. Wireless headset mic with a boom? Heck yeah. I need to bring another person so I can have a boom man to actually hold the big cattail up above me. Oh no. He bought more megalithics. Well, I got an announcement. I got the the Mimo app is odd. Yes, it is. I would say that the GoPro app is every bit as bad, but the GoPro app doesn't really require the kind of app slaving. Like when you put your phone on that gimbal, when you mount the phone onto here, you can only record through the app. You can't use just your regular camera app. That alone, like the gimbal will do all the steadying, but you can't record. So, like, what is the point? And it's one of those, it's like my TV. My TV requests an update like every 90 minutes. Oh, there's new software available. I use you as a screen. I don't use the smart stuff. Thank you, Spider Crawler and RC Zilla. Shenanigan enabling donation. That's what we're talking about. I bought another set of megalithics. I want to say, so I have two builds here. I mentioned the kit crawler earlier, and I have one called a Lone Ranger that's here. And I want to build them both. I might build them together. We might overlap. One of them is going to get megs. The other one is probably going to get razor wires, maybe. Like, I don't want to just build two class 2s. I might build one as a class 2 and one as a C1.5 as a Canyon class 1, a CC1, or build one as a class 3. I don't know. I have tire options, and it'll kind of go organically as to which suits what. I know I want to put one on straights, and I haven't determined the other. I want to put the Lone Ranger on F10 straights with an OD3, and the kit crawler is going to be on the Mias, and I haven't determined what axles are going to go onto it yet. But anyway, I got the email from the old tower, from the old A-main. Ooh, there's a color. Wait till you see the body that's, oh man, the camera. Oh, nope. How about you? Nope. Yeah, nobody is capturing how irritatingly bright that is. That is properly Traxxas fluorescent red. That color is going to go on this J Concepts Anvil cab only, which has a list price of $33, which is, let's be honest about it, ludicrous. But A-Main sells them for $21. So if you're going to order one, you might as well order two. I don't think it's a secret that I'm going to build a second Jolly Green, and it's going to be red and green. When that will get done, who knows? I have absolutely no idea. None. I had intended, the goal was to start the build series to show people how to build Jolly Greens. The goal was to film that already. But I'm still high off of contact cement. So, and I ain't done. You think I'm going to get any recording done tomorrow? Nope. Anime Expo 2025 is July 3, 4, 5, 6. I will be attending 3 and 5, here for 4. Live streaming hopefully on 5, on Saturday the 5th. That is the goal. I will do a test. I will do an equipment test. Someone, one or two of you, are almost certainly going to receive a notification at some random hour that Crawler Canyon has gone live, and it's going to be that phone on that gimbal with that microphone for the test. That's going to happen this week. And the short-term goal is for it to happen after I've got those gauntlets finished. Because then I will feel some small sense of freedom. But, don't get it twisted. It is non-stop cosplay repair, remodeling, and maintenance and construction all the way up until like 11 p.m. on the 2nd of July, and then we're at Anime Expo by 9:30 a.m. on the 3rd. So until then, like this, yeah, R.I.P. the Sawtooth. I had only just made the Sawtooth stickers, and honestly, in the future, maybe my thoughts will change. Maybe the thoughts will change, and I will, see, that's the question. See, here's why the test has to go down. Because I want to live stream, right? Off the gimbal. Because otherwise it's going to look terrible, right? You can only use the gimbal functions through the app. You can't live stream through the app. You have to live stream through the YouTube app. How is it even going to work? I haven't even tried to turn it on yet because let's just say my hopes are not high. There's every chance in the world that the gimbal will be replaced by a simple phone clamp on top of that monopod, and we will try not to jiggle it too much as we walk around. It'll be, you know what? Regardless, it will be interesting. It will definitely be interesting because I was talking to the wife about it, and I said, most of the folks, I would say, what? At least a 30 on here will never be in a geographic position to attend an anime expo, and that is barring, like, most people would just be like, ugh, like I would never go to that. So I get it. So you'll get some insight into hopefully into the absolute, and then there's all the factors that I have no control of. Live stream from Bruce's in-car cam. I don't know. I went through, when I was ordering Yi Monopod, I went through the terms of service start to finish, trying to figure out, like, are you even allowed to bring a monopod? Because they have, some of the regulations make sense and some of them are bonkers. But they allow selfie sticks, and nowhere did they explicitly say that you can't have a monopod. They didn't even say you can't have a tripod, and having a tripod seems like it would be more dangerous. This is just a stick. But this is relevant because it's right over here. The handle for Power, if you've ever seen Chainsaw Man, there's a character named Power. The handle for Power's weapon, which is a giant hammer, is this right here. This is a 6-foot long, 1.25 dowel, wooden dowel, basically a closet rod. And this year the kid will be going as Power, but I think on the 4th, so I won't get to see them as Power. They're doing Vi on Thursday and Nami from One Piece on Saturday. Nami's is just a 1.25 wood, and this is legal. You can take this in. This is a 6-foot long poplar dowel. But this is legal because it's under the length and it's under the weight. So the stuff that they don't allow, while allowing this stuff, is like, tell me you couldn't cause some trouble with a pair of 6-foot closet rods. But what else are your options? If you're going to bring a staff, what are you going to do? You're going to roll up a bunch of EVA foam and the thing just be a little floppy doppely dangus that just hangs around? I don't know. The scythe that I made for Tokyo Ghoul that went like 5 times was like, that thing was immense, and it was legal. Plastic and wood, no metal. Like, they have rules, no metal. It has to be under 7 feet and less than 15 pounds. And most people make, again, the shittiest cosplay stuff you've ever seen. Like, you see the good stuff people bought. You see proper craftsmanship. Yeah, a staff made of the inside of paper towel rolls, 100%. And then you have the DIYers, and I'm definitely in the DIYer. I don't make the best stuff. Like, the 3D print stuff looks great because I didn't have to make it. All I had to do was paint it. Easy peasy. I did both of those in one day. Like, on I want to say Tuesday, started in the morning, and by like 3 in the afternoon, they were both done. So that's, that is the way I like it. Because the rest of it is, to quote Jack Donaghy, just kind of turning into one giant ass ache, really. Vehicle MOT. Bless you all for supporting Mr. C, and thank you, Mr. C, for the place to be. This is the place to be. Why has he got a scale hub? Oh, he's got scale hubs all the way around. Was unaware. I have a tool for that. 240. We're moving along. Ooh. Yeah, again, here's another one to add to. So apparently, 3D print is not safe because, yeah, when he ran in his last episode, I could tell the tires were nearing the end. This one's not as bad, but I mean, it's going. Yeah, it's always right at the bead lock, at the edge of the bead lock. Come on. Ooh, this might be the worst one on the outside. And it's weird, like, rubber is real gummy. Yeah, that's pretty much done. It's a shame. I love me, I don't know if, didn't even finish to read it. It's the bubble juice. That's an, can't use tag. No, like, why you can't glue this is the actual consistency of the rubber is like, it's gone. There's right at that edge, there's nothing left. Like, that's gone. So that's a set of X2SS, a set of X2S3, a set of R35s. We can't count Predator. They'll just rot away sitting on the bench. So I think I missed a question where somebody asked about spacing. Building my Jelly Green right now. Can you show the panhard mount and servo mount, which holes to use? It's gonna vary. It's gonna vary by servo. So what servo you're using is going to affect this not insignificantly. So for an AGFRC 886, you'll notice 2 holes. I don't have the slots, right? I don't have the slots. Panhard mount goes right in those 2 lower holes. And on the servo mount, I am in the forwardmost hole and the middle hole. So of the 4, hole, no screw, screw, no screw. So that's where my spacing is right there. Basically, what you're trying to do is get panhard and drag link parallel to each other, or as parallel as possible. Both vertically, both front to back. On all 3 axes, you're trying to get them as parallel as you can. Yeah, Zoku's Jolly Green did pretty good considering that it was woefully underdamped. He bought shocks from Jenny's and then just slapped them on. Didn't even open them up. Just bought them and put them on. Oh. Last time I serviced this, I didn't put a screw in the skid plate on the bottom. Does not seem to be worse for wear. And yes, there are 5 servos on this vehicle. As of this moment right now, there are 5 servos on this vehicle. But we're doing a thing. Oh, if anybody has any additional Jolly Green questions, just let me know. He's sitting right behind me. Everything I touch, like you'll notice my hands turning blacker and blacker. Part of that is handling gross tires. The other part is that everything in this entire building is covered with powdered EVA foam. I had it in my eyes. It's everywhere. Can't put some kind of patch on the inside. No. The rubber has basically started to change format. It's not rubber anymore. Like you can't glue it because there's nothing to glue. Like it's turning into something else. So you can't glue it because there's nothing to accept the glue. Shame. Shame, but it is what it is. One might ask, wouldn't you put a little pledge on those and clean those up? Yeah, I mean, I should. I definitely should. Rear housing has got a little bit. It's very difficult to say. Do you see? Imagine an imaginary line that runs through the center of the axle, and then look where that stub is. Are we pointing down a little bit? Yes. Yes, we are. Got a little bit of axle housing flex in there. Not surprising. He's been walloping on these housings for some time now. Is it bad enough to replace? No. Yeah, it's got a little droop. It's got a little... It's not quite sitting as straight as once it was. AR-45Ps do the same thing, but they do it. Yeah, there you go. The polymer chains that make rubber are breaking down. Yeah. So we're doing a thing. Someone said, wouldn't it be better to just lose those and turn them into a TRX4 axled Phoenix? And I was like, you know what? Kinda, yeah. When's the last time I actuated the lockers on him? Well, you'll notice that's what happened to that locker cable. It was never really the same after that. So that's a big part of why I wasn't using his lockers. Yeah, got that little droop. It's got the rear camber. It's got the rear positive camber like a Baja bug. As long as everything is still meshing and there's plenty of room, it's not like a TRX4 axle is zero clearance on the inside. This differential was last touched so long ago that is Lucas, that's red and tacky. It is neither red nor tacky anymore. It smells like, well, all I can smell are my hands. It just smells like rubber. Are the wheels on Zoku's Jolly Green weighted? Those are KMCs. I don't know if they're Vanquishes. They might be Vanquishes. But no, I don't think he's running any specific weights on them. He threw that thing together pretty quick. And he was telling me when he came over here to drop off the chassis, he was like, it's amazing. Because you just point it at wherever you want to go and it just goes there. And I'm like, yeah, it has an extra axle. So, relevant, $10 for a spur. I mean, $10 for a spool. Or 5/16 flat washer will just fit right there. And then you put the bearing back on. And now you've spooled it because it can't disengage itself. Or if you have a small lathe, you make yourself some little Delrin spacers and you just throw this in here. This way it is non-destructive. It is non, like we don't actually manipulate anything. If the need, the desire overcomes me, I can just put him back onto lockers. And I can make that for, I'll call it free, basically free. Whereas spools at $10 a piece, it's not like they're breaking the bank, but one of these has to have grease in it, right? There we go. What kind of trail setup do you use on your 6x6? Messing with clocking the axles. Oh, well, it's TRX4 axles, so we don't really have control over that. I go by pinion angle more than anything to maintain clearance. But, like, in terms of clocking the axle, like, I run... Like, Jolly Green's front axle will look exactly like that front axle. Like, I would love to have that drive shaft kicked up to where it's perfectly straight coming out of the gearbox. But, I'd also like to have a little bit of caster in the front end so that we can improve the steering, because a TRX4 axle does not have the best steering angle in the world. So we kind of compromise, because the industry has seen fit to almost completely deny us of the ability to remove our own C-hubs. And if we do have removable C-hubs, they're keyed so that we can't clock them. Anyway, would make the 10 Pro axle would ascend above S tier if it had clockable C-hubs. Motor on axle, servo on axle, so no prop shafts to worry about, but the electricity is bonkers. Yeah, I can imagine. 3 motors. I would have the rear axle pretty much neutral. I would have the front axle. I like a lot of caster, like 15 degrees plus. And in the middle axle, I would run, I guess that would be, because we rock, oh, it's the same angle. 10, 12, 15 degrees. Can we get an Atlas and Old Blue wheel on Wednesday? Well, no. Because the Atlas, Randall the Atlas went to his forever home like a year ago. He's been gone at least a year. Yeah, the Atlas has been gone for a long time. Old Blue is definitely still here. But, the idea of taking Old Blue out on a long trail... Okay, I'll make you a deal. I'll give you a conditional maybe on Old Blue. Because still over there in a box, and has been over there in a box now for like 4 months, is a BRX-02. So when the BRX-02 is built, we'll see if we can't get the BRX-02 and Old Blue out together, because they are definitely compatible in scale, capacity, size, all of that. But Lord knows when I will get around to building that BRX-02. The list of things that need be done grows longer with every passing day. There is but one of me. So it'll happen, maybe. Conditionally. This is why I like Vanquish better than Axial. You can see. 15 degrees of caster gives you that good road grader steering. Nah, even I want even more. Even like 20 degrees. I want all the caster. Oh, we did it wrong. We did it wrong. If you want to save your sanity, we'll save your soul. You've got to put the upper links on first. But I caught myself before any screws went in. So we're just spooling them out, because it's going to drop a bunch of weight. And then, well, also, Mr. Daniels, remember that BRX-02 has every bell and whistle. It's got the lighted dashboard, the engine compartment, the inner fenders, all of it. It has every little bit and bob that you can order from it. Because that's how the blind guy shops. If he saw something was available, like just all of a sudden, there was a box out front, and I'm like, what is this? And it says Asia Tees on it, and I open it, and it's everything. Every little bit and bob that fits BRX-02 is in there. So I get to do all of that. And it's not like I'm avoiding it. It's just that there's content, right? And then there's content, and we'll get to it. Did you ever figure out Bruce's LED debacle? I did. Oh yeah, the blind guy is the blind guy, but he can see. They actually, the county gave him glasses because he actually has. So what is it? There's like different categories, right? Like he can see in this like narrow window. What do I have that's solid objects? So like, let's see if we can block the lens and it'll still focus. So he sees through like that, right? He sees through like a slot. It might actually be even narrower like that. But through that slot that he can see out of, he has like 20/30 vision. So his vision actually isn't that bad through that slot. After he got the brain tumor, he continued to play paintball. Like he's played paintball multiple times after he is legally blind. Like he can't drive a car. He trips over stuff all the time because he has no depth perception. I walk that dude into poles in like malls and stuff all the time. Not intentionally. Just because I have this thing they call binocular vision, and he is now on monocular vision. Yeah, he's looking at a dark alley all the time. And then his right eye is nothing. Optic nerve was severed, so he can't see anything. That eye is done. It does nothing. It's got the blown pupil and everything. So I don't intentionally walk him into stuff like parking blocks. I don't think like a blind person, I guess, is what it comes down to. I have pretty good peripheral vision. I operate a lot out of the peripheral vision because, like, my wife can't wear glasses. She wears contact lenses because the stuff that's in her periphery, she doesn't like it. She doesn't like it. Oh, you got a guy with, like, macular degeneration. Sam Stevens says we have a blind guy on the mobility team and he has peripheral vision only. Yeah, so he's blind in the middle. Right. My peripheral vision is really good. So it doesn't bother me that I wear glasses and that a lot of the data I'm getting is from outside the focused area. It doesn't really bother me. But I can understand how it would. I can't imagine only peripheral vision, though. That is an uphill climb, to be sure. I had it right the first time. It's just being finicky. We'll save your soul. Right. Bosh. And my biggest hardship is having dirty glasses. I thought everyone was blind in the middle. No. If I'm remembering correctly, macular degeneration basically makes it to where you can only see the edges. So, like, can we do it with this one, or does it block out the whole thing? Yeah, okay. So you get that. The only difference is, yeah, even like that, we don't have the stuff on the outsides of our eyes to make it sharp. We only have a 15-degree field of view that's actually, quote-unquote, in focus. You can do this fun trick at home. Pick an object like a word. Like, look at where it says crawler, right? And now look over here. You can still see what it says down there. Like, I'm looking right here. And I still see it out of the corner of my eye, and I know what it says. But if somebody slid another sign in that said something, I wouldn't know until I looked back at it what it said. Yeah, our brain blocks out the... Yeah, you can see your nose all the time, and your brain just ignores it. Because think about it. If you close one eye and look in, there it is. There's your whole nose. But your brain just ignores it because it's there all the time. And you can do the test with the... you'll find them on the internet. To, like, see where your optic nerve is. Your optic nerve enters through the front of your eye. So you have a true blind spot. It's very small, but there is a hole in the front of your eye, right, where the nerve goes in. And you can do this thing where there's like a white sheet of paper with a dot on it, and you focus on that dot, and you move your head closer and closer to the screen. And when you get to a certain point, the dot and the hole in your eye will line up, and the dot just goes boing and just disappears. And when you do it, you go, what? How do I not see that? And that's before you get into the discussion of, you can't see your own nose. Well, you can. It's there all the time. If you hold out your thumb at about 15 to 20 centimeters, it will disappear if you keep looking straight. Yeah. The human eye is an insane miracle. There was a whole treatise, I guess you'd call it a treatise, theory, hypothesis, about how you need no greater proof of evolution than the human eye. Because it is, even among other species, it is a true miracle. What did they say? A human eye is a rough approximate to 100 megapixels. You're taking in 100 megapixels of data every second when your eyes are open. Whether your brain is recording it. So even if you're not actively paying attention to it, it's still all being recorded. It's crazy. It is a webcam that runs all the time, taking in unthinkable amounts of data. And at the end of the day, it's just a big salt-filled grape. Big, little juice bag. You Last I checked, a miracle isn't evolution. I throw the word miracle around. A miracle is something that is extremely unlikely. That's basically what it is. I don't know if we've ever, if you get involved enough in science, in place of miracle, let's use a better word. Magic. Who was it? Asimov? Arthur C. Clarke? Any technology sufficiently advanced is indistinguishable from magic. There it is. We have quite a bit of time of developing things and making things, and we still haven't made a lens as good as a human eye. Well, we have. There's like 600 megapixel cameras out there, but they can't do all of the things that the human eye does all at the same time. The light sensitivity that we have, like if they put it into an ISO number to compare it to a film camera, the human eye has an ISO range from like 1 to something like 250,000. A typical this camera right here will go from usually ISO 32 or 64 up to like 6,000 in that range. Nothing ever made has the dynamic range of a human eye. Think about it. You can walk, I guarantee you might not think that you can. You could walk to your mailbox in the dark of night just fine. Wouldn't even fall into a ravine. But if you tried to do it hooked up to a camera where you can only see what the camera sees, you're probably going right in the ravine. So put the human eye as magic, because we have been unable to reproduce it. I'm pretty sure it's my eyes that make me think my glasses are dirty. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. If you want to talk about, okay, so the camera will ignore, your eyes ignore your nose. This is what I look through. Does it even show up how bad they are? They're really bad. They're really, really bad. And I don't even notice. They look fine. This is what I'm accustomed to. So they're filthy. Absolutely filthy. And most of that is not dirt. That doesn't rinse off. That is the condition of that polycarbonate at this point. Oh, I forgot. There's a lot more work to taking the front apart. I believe somebody asked earlier, I think I saw it in passing. Somebody asked, are these the same knuckles on Jolly Green? Mostly yes. These are the aluminum GRC G2s, and Jolly Green has the brass. But they're the exact same. These used to be Daphne's before she got the full GRC housing set. Question for the experienced, Ovonic or Z? I like Z because Z goes on sale more often. But if we're talking about longevity, how well they hold a charge, how many charges they can take, etc., 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 I will say that Z has more levels. Like Z has, okay, the label's basically worn off. This is just a Z2200, and this is a Z Premium Series. Between this and the Ovonic, they're exactly the same. Identical. I run the Z4200 LAHVs in Bruce. Tremendous. Fantastic batteries. Across the board, I would basically regard them as interchangeable. Buy whichever one is cheaper. That is how I buy batteries on Amazon. And Z go on sale a lot more often. I did the video so long ago, where we were asking if the C rating matters, whether it's a 30C pack or a 70C pack or a 120 or anything. In a rock crawler, it does not. It makes no, never mind. I've got 2,200 packs that are 100C. I've got 2,200 packs that are 120C. They are indistinguishable in operation because the biggest individual power consumer that we typically have in a rock crawler is the servo. Now, if you're running a drag car, what battery you opt for is going to ultimately be more impactful. But for what we do, cheap. Buy the cheap ones. Whichever one is on sale on the day when you're buying batteries. Dropped one. I mean, that said, if I want to be hypocritical, I heard it hit the carpet. Oh my God! Look at there's the rest of that pin. I just saw set screw. This like fatigue mat from Costco just eats fasteners. Just gobbles them up. Now, if we were going to go by, like, what have you bought? I say they go on sale more often. Yes. 3S 2200s, 4S 650s, 3S, and then 2 more boxes of 3S 2200s. When they go on sale, you just buy a bunch. And for whatever reason, the Z go on sale more often. Match pairs of Z3S have been solid performers in my Raro 787 Punisher for speed runs. Hey, yeah. Is the carpet just made out of screws at this point? I think it mostly is. Screws and aluminum shavings, which I walk on in my bare feet because I'm a savage. I have serviced the front differential at one point. Oh, yes. When I put the G2 stuff on, I probably took it apart. That is an excellent question. I've often wondered if the servo is the biggest user, why pump 4S through a JST? Wouldn't XT30 be better? It's not about the connector. The connector, if anything, is overrated. Most of our servos are going to be on 26 gauge wire. 26 gauge wire, if memory serves, is rated for like 5 amps peak, like a momentary 5 amps. And I think the way they get away with it is electricity flow like water. The electricity only has to flow about that far, so you can get away with the 26 gauge. I want to see somebody make a properly high volt servo that has like 14 gauge wires coming out of it. Direct power. I blasted the money I'm going to get on September because let's buy it for summer so I can play with it. My parents are always okay with helping me with these shenanigans. They should be. You are a youth. They're not rid of you yet. I don't know if things are done differently over there in Europia, but my kids couldn't afford to live on their own right now. No way in hell. No way in hell. They're here. They're here as long as they need to be here. I've explained it to the small one before and the big one in equal measure. They live in a different world than I lived in. When I got out of high school, I was out of the house by 19, married by 20, working, then went to school, all that stuff. And the simple and plain of it was pretty easy. I made $4.25 at my job, $4.25 an hour, and not only was that enough money to live on, we'd go to Vegas, we'd go to Disneyland, we'd go do all the things. Now, if you make $20 an hour, you can't even afford to live on your own. And I try to remind myself not to think about it, because yeah, it was that long ago. It was forever ago. Oh my God. Don't forget, Green Day is classic rock now. So I grew up, pre 9/11. I grew up on a different planet than on the planet we live in right now. My kids were born post 9/11 on a different planet, the one that I grew up on. I grew up without the internet, no social media. Mr. Truitt started, minimum wage was $1.25 for him, $4.25, late 80s, early 90s. Now, mind you, at that time, gas was 88 cents a gallon. So that helped. Remember, we got to come up with some stuff that said Miss C so that she doesn't get mad and pull the cord for all the overtime pulls. Oh, she's in the office today. That's why we have 58 dropped frames out of 361,000. I'm not sharing the upload with her doing Zoom meetings for work. That's why everything. I'm not saying that the wife doesn't make things go smoothly. I'm saying things that are going smoothly because the wife's at work. We need to send her something for Wrong Wednesdays. She does, honestly. Maybe she's just good at faking it, but she does seem to enjoy Wheelin' Wednesday. I would not have anticipated it. But here we are. Because she showed no interest. She has shown no interest in toy car operation of any kind. Almost got it a one spline out. Probably wouldn't have mattered, but I'd prefer to keep it separated. She had never showed an inkling of interest in any RC car. And as I said, I've been doing this a little bit of a while. She played paintball. She did that. Too much of a killer instinct, to be completely honest. And it's not, like, she's not short, so she doesn't have short girl syndrome. She's 5'7", which for a lady is tall. But she's got that killer instinct. We were playing at a place called SC Village, which is local down here. It smells like cow poop all the time. It's fun. We were playing there, and it was just like regular woods ball. It was in the golden era. It was in the olden times before people were throwing ropes at you. And I'm big. I'm not small. I'm a big fella. So we would do Clever Girl, basically, which is, there I am, and I know how to not get shot. So I would draw people's attention, and then my wife, who is 7 inches and 100 pounds less than me, would come around and usually shoot them in the back, groin, face, wherever seemed suitable at the time. And there was high grass on a particular field, and we went full Clever Girl, and the guy thought he was stalking me, and she was stalking him, and she shot him right up the spine, just ripped him right up the back, and he was like, "You didn't have to shoot me so much." And it was a big dude, like bigger than me, like probably 6'5", like a husky man. He was like, "You didn't have to shoot me so much." and she was like looking up at him, like at the crane angle, up like this, and she said something basically along the lines of, have some self-respect. Basically, was what it was. Yeah, because she tried out for the sheriff's department many moons ago. She went through to the final cut to become a cop. Should have been very dangerous as a cop. She's very orderly. Very orderly. And honestly, it's not an insult to say it, but I feel like to a degree she has the mentality for it. She is she knows how to manage people. At the same time, I'm kind of glad that didn't come to be. I'm more gladder where we are now than had she ended up as a Johnny Law. Mostly because of what happens to Johnny Laws. Like it doesn't seem to be conducive to ultimate long-term mental health. You know, you deal with the worst all day, you're going to get some form of PTSD manifesting itself. You have to trick the wife into crawling, tell her you need help film a video and have her crawl with you. She offered to come out and help do a video at one point. And I was like, oh, she's being so kind, but she doesn't know what's involved. So, oh, she manages me just fine. No, it's, like I say, our first date, we went to dinner and a movie. This one's specifically for Hugo. Our first date was on the 22nd of January in the year of our Lord, 1989. So, filed it away. Hugo's parents were probably too young to be parents in 1989. So no, she's got me figured out, for sure. Any married man has got one of those managers. They know all the passwords. They know all the buttons and exactly how to press them. Oh. You ain't done. You ain't done. You ain't even done. Why do you think you're done? The Soviet Union still existed. Yes, it did. I was 16 years old. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about. And not only that she has successfully put up with me in all of the Did Irwin just show up? Did Irwin just show up with like 6 minutes left? Because I think that's what happened. Oh, by the way, I forgot to hold it up in front of the camera. Oh, I can do it this way. I can do screen share, I think. The youngest sent me a picture earlier. Oh, I need to go like this. Okay. So for those who, we were talking about it last week, there he is. There's that demon man. They were going to bring him out here because somebody said that they wanted to see Frank the Devil Man. Frank the Devil Man is fast asleep. He's doing cat things. You know what cats do during the day. How will he tear ass through the house at 3 o'clock in the morning if he's not sleeping during the afternoon? Good old Frank Man. If you've ever wondered what the Frank Man looks like, just think brown tabby. If you Googled a picture of a brown tabby, it would be Frank. Frank is a menace. I have been using knitting with one needle. He is definitely knitting with one needle. But you know what? Sometimes I feel like he's trying to be a good man. He's trying to be a good man. He doesn't know how. He doesn't know how. He got deprived of too much. He went too long with no food and water, and it definitely got him in the brain. Oh. Okay, how do I... Oh, you know what? There we go. I was like, how do we not dox people? Manus from Irwin. Wow. Look at that guy. On the Trachites. How are the Trachites doing over in Belgia land? Because they were all right. They weren't terrible. They were all right. I have something like macular degeneration, which leaves me with only peripheral vision, and I still build my own RCs. Hell yeah. Maybe he's just a regular cat. I have had in my life now 6 cats. Every single one of them has been a completely different personality. I'm starting to think that no 2 cats are alike. We have 4 now against my complaints. My complaints fall directly upon deaf ears. I didn't want 4 cats. I told him when my big boy died years ago, before Gigi, I was like, I'm good without a cat for a while. And my kids were very small at the time, so I think it's needless to say that there was a new cat in the house from within weeks. That was Jeej. And then Jeej had the overlap with the other 2, the COVID cats, which we got during COVID. 2020 for those 2, the sisters. And then we ended up with Frank and Peepers more recently. Right around the young one's birthday every year, they would get another cat. And we told them explicitly this year, we were like, you're not getting... It's not happening. If another cat shows up, this time we're actually turning it away. Family does not care about my input on pets. The only thing that I have successfully managed to stop is a dog. Because they've been harping about a dog. And I'm like, oy, oy, oy. I don't want to take care of a dog. Because I know I'm going to have to take care of the dog. Apparently my wife saw someone that was like Instagram or something that said a woman is supposed to have 1 cat for every decade of her life. So we are technically 1 cat short. But she says, even the wife says, the hell with that. She's like, 4 cats are too many. There's no way you're talking me into getting a 5th one. We have not seen Canyon Dog in 3 or 4 days now. As I had told in the story, he jumped out of the back of a pickup truck while people were having a knockdown, drag-out fight on the other side of the street. And he would not let a single human being get within about 20 feet of him. Like, he wasn't coming up and getting pet by nobody. He did not get near anyone. People had seen him out in the neighborhood. We had multiple people come to the front door because they saw him hop over our fence. And they would say, we tried to catch your dog. And we were like, that's not our dog. We don't know that dog's name. We don't know where that dog came from. We don't know where that dog is going. And it was, for whatever reason, it seemed to be very difficult to explain to people. Because they'd be like, you should try to catch your dog. I'm like, it's not our dog. It just appeared here. I think Spirit of the Forest belongs to the house that's straight back from Deadline. So when you can see Deadline, the house that's over there with like the trailers and stuff in the backyard, because yesterday I saw Spirit of the Forest walking on the roof of that house. Or maybe Spirit of the Forest just goes and visits those people as well. We still have no real clear idea of where Spirit of the Forest came from or where he goes. But you've seen him in the videos. He is very kept. Like, he's not a matty outdoor cat. He's like a he's a cat that just likes to wander about. And I think Spirit of the Forest is not a kitten. I think he's older maybe than he looks. Just nothing came in the yard when Gigi was here. Gigi ran the joint. In the videos, you have to be able to hear the birds. The bird population and the lizard population has exploded since Gigi's passing. But maybe he is your dog. Well, he's not my dog unless he can curl up at my feet and I can call him a name and he responds to it. And I don't know if we'll see that dog again. Maybe he'll pop up in a video. I don't know. But I lay no claim. It was a good-looking dog, too. But that was about the right size. I don't want a dog bigger than that dog. But that was, I can't lay claim to that dog. Is that the house with the row of small conifer trees with the dead one in the middle? Yeah, I think it is, yeah. They have a giant, like, pepper tree in the back. I think it's a pepper. And big chunks of it fall off all the time. And they never cut their weeds, but somehow they don't get weed abatement. And we get a weed abatement notice annually. And I keep my yard done. So, I don't know. What I do know is I'm just frantically putting things away. We've taken a great many things down off of shelves. And I got, honestly, getting the Tranquish that far, because we've got to put tires on him. There's no choice in that. I can't put those Baja Claws back on him. They're we did. We put out food and water. Yeah. I can't put those Baja Claws back on him. They are falling apart. Ooh, we can try KLRs. I said the KLRs need more ground pressure. Well, even with those servos removed, Tranquish is definitely generating some ground pressure. Try KLRs. We could try. I have a set of tusks. I have a set of tusks over there. I got groundhogs. We could just throw Daphne's old groundhogs straight on him. Wow. Chrome them up. What are you going to do with the Baja Claws? I'm going to dismount them and I'm going to throw them in the gray bins over there. Because there's gray bins. There's space in the gray bins now. Now that I'm giving a bunch of those tires are going to go out in boxes after I respond to emails. After the weekend. Maybe not even next week. Maybe not even 4th of July week. I will do my best to try to get that stuff out like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Canyon Trails, Chuck Hurley with a vote for Canyon Trails. I definitely have them. I got a cut set right there. Could be Canyon Trails. I got Tusk. I got Rock Blocks. I got Boss Man. I got a lot. Tire Testival. Tire Testival for Tranquish Tire Testival TTT. He's been on Baja Claws for a long time. Champs, I got Champs and Deepwoods. Klingons. I got a lot. We got a lot of stuff to try. I'm not going to glue any more foam today. I feel like my head finally started to clear out after, 3+ hours. Man, and we're going to see how much longer we're starting to get real spidery around the holes And the first tucked body ever bought. It's got a little bit more life in it. We'll run it a bit longer. But it's definitely past its midpoint for sure. It's definitely past its midpoint. I do not have an open set of ripsaws. I do not have a set of ripsaws not in service. Oh, just for the man from Scotland, because he says he needs 6. Let me see. Okay, these have inserts in them, so we can grab all these at once. There we go. He says he needs champs for his 6x. This isn't all of them. I just couldn't grab all of them. So if we're and like these have squids in them. So it sounds like a tire testival is inevitable. Rock blocks right up here on the rock blocks, KLRs, deep woods, canyon trails. We definitely have options. We for sure. So we'll do that. There's a video in like 25 minutes, which is like a 5-minute explanation of how to lock your TRX4 diffs, which is what we just did right now. 5/16 inch flat washer. Costs you about 12 cents. Throw it in there. In the metric world, I think 8x16 is the closest you've got in terms of flat washer. And that will lock your TRX4 axles. The belt drive adds a tremendous amount of resistance. So, I don't remember what's tomorrow's episode. No recollection. Something. There's a video tomorrow. Cabs on Sunday. I think it's Bruce on Monday? No. Oh. Monday will be a surprise. Monday will be a surprise for you. That's a good spin. That's a good spin. We got a good spin today. You know what else we had? We had a good day. We have a good day. Good day. So, can you do one a day on how to program for 4-wheel steer for dummies? I want 4-wheel on 3 and use a switch to slave steering to go with rear wheel steering. I would love to do that, and to do that, I will have to figure out how to do that, because I only run pure manual for a rear steer, and I've been thinking about doing the switch to mix. So maybe have a good weekend, everyone. Coffee drink imminent, God willing. Tomorrow will be the last of the glue. Oh, as I got close to it, I could smell it. God willing, tomorrow will be the final day of making the gauntlets, and then I have to prime them, and then I'm not doing any painting. The kid gets to paint these whole things. They are blue and gold. The kid gets to paint them themselves after it gets all of its stuff put on it. And there's like 500 pieces of foam in each one. It'll be great. And if you ever wonder what yoga blocks are made out of, there you go. There you go. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us here in the canyon. We'll get through those emails soonish. Soon-ish. For a top-heavy rig, is it better to have a straight axle and smaller wheels? I would say, yeah. Anything you can do to get the CG lower. Yes, so sure. Yeah, huffing is not good for you. And like I say, the aircon, well, the swamp's been on the whole time, but it's a lot of fumes. Have a good one, everybody. We got to, we turn off the blinky. We go to white. Camera 3 is off. Camera 2 is off. And when you go to them, it's just a frozen image. It's the last thing they saw. Like the dead man's eyes thing. Ooh. All right. We had a good one, everybody. I'm going to see y'all next time. I'll see you in the Discord. I'll see you in the comments. I'll see you in all the old familiar places. And I'm going to make sure I've not missed picking in. Oh, I got a couple more rigs to put away. And I will see you all in the next one.